Christmas. Wanna wish you a Merry Christmas and Alan a Happy New Year.
You can stop that now. Like, now.
Like, right now.
Good tidings we bring for you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a happy
I will mute you.
Yeah. Look at, man, the holiday spirit in Allie's face. She's like, oh, God, what's that smell? It smells like holiday Christmas. Awesome.
Man, Allie, why you gotta be the Grinch?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Man, I've become the Grinch ever since I started working in retail.
And, well, wow, yeah, she's probably been hearing that shit all fucking day.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it 4 times today.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? I haven't, so fuck you. I actually remember hearing this a lot. And by the way, too, you kind of work retail as well, right, Ganja, in a sense?
In a sense, but I'm in the back, so I never have to deal with whatever's playing in the forefront of the music. And usually when it's Christmas time, we sometimes play Christmas music, but most of the time it's just stoner music all the time, like some rock and some background, like some 60s vibe.
Yeah, well, that's still bad, too, actually. I hate that shit. But the thing is, we are here, and this is our second to last show of the year, and we are definitely going to be having a kind of a long one. Usually we've been kind of like doing these shows a little bit faster, getting through these things. They're shorter, etc. And, yeah, people know that, you know, the longer it is, the better, right? Uh-huh. Alan, that's your...
No.
Oh, I already posted that, so she said in advance, so it's already there.
Oh, fuck, shit, balls. But here's the thing, though. We attacked the chat over here in these parts, and on top of that, too, we got the YouTube chat over here as well. Yeah, we got... oh, there you go. That's what she said. You son of a bitch.
In advance.
Yeah, we got Chris Brown over there and everything. I can't really read a whole lot on this. My eyes, man. I gotta get some fucking glasses. Listen, yeah, it is Chris Brown. Okay, I had to just make that bigger for me. But yeah, people, we got the YouTube chat. Shut the fuck. We got the YouTube chat. We got the MCA chat or the Double Toasted chat. I want you guys to go at it with each other. Anyone who's saying the more entertaining shit, I will put it up on your screen so we can see what you guys are saying, etc. But before we do that too, we need people to come into the call and hang out with us as well, Ganja Guru. But
yes, we do,
instead
sir.
of you saying this, I'm gonna have Alan do it. Alan, how do they get into the call, sir?
Well, if you're on the DT side, basically send either me, Ganja, or Ali a PM. We'll send you a link. You join the call. If you're on the YouTube side, you'll have to find one of our Facebook stuff. Send us a message. We'll send you the link, and you still can get in. So that once you do, you got to follow a few rules, and let somebody else take care of that one.
Absolutely.
That's me, sir.
Oh yes, that is him. And by the way, too, why don't you tell him about that beautiful fucking Facebook page, Mr. Ganja Guru?
Yes, sir. As we always do, guys. On Friday, we do a good little playthrough. Sometimes a let's play. We're trying to figure out what is fucking action, but it's the Untitled Video Game Show. This week, we actually played Ninja Gaiden, and from what Jason actually said in the chat, he enjoyed the fuck out of it. Watching Al lose him shit and let's make fun of him trying to hold on to a wall for almost like 10 minutes, thinking the game had crashed.
Fucking game did crash. That's a bullshit.
Man, you just couldn't figure out how to jump. Stop lying. But anyway, guys, besides, the Untitled Video Game Show, we go up there for you guys to send us DMs so all the group can see it, and we can decide on, questions of the night and other, fun meme gifts and, create artwork that you guys come up with. As Alan, you see up there, we have him posted shit of me passed out every event, which I don't get why you take pictures of me passed out.
Yeah,
that's rude.
And parental advisory for sure. God damn.
Hey, that was hilarious. I don't know what you're saying, man.
Collective Vice Reefer? What the fuck?
Hey, man, sometimes you gotta collectivize the Reaper for the good of the community.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But no, man, definitely. Like, I actually really love that everyone's talking so much on that Facebook page and whatnot, too. And, that's a good way for us to kind of, mix it up with each other, too, the community and everything. And you guys can let us know. PM us, private messages on Facebook in our inbox, and we can give you a link to come into these calls, whether it'll be ahead of time, after the show's done. We do the after hours. And speaking of the after hours, one more thing before we get into the rules. Alan, what you tell about the after hours and what we're going to be doing tonight, sir?
Yes, so basically, since Christmas is literally right around the corner, it's going to be on the Monday. What we're doing is we're basically going to just, Christmas movies. So you're going to have a choice once we put the straw poll into the chats. You're either going to have the classic Christmas movies, Home Alone, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all that good jazz. Or you get a movie set during Christmas, like Die Hard or Iron Man 3. Yes. No, that aren't Christmas movies, but for some reason people think are Christmas movies.
Man, okay, here's the thing. That's a Christmas movie. I don't give a fuck what you say. Because it fucking is. Like, that's one of those things. Like, no, it's a Christmas movie.
Terrorists that are trying to rob a guy for money, and that's Christmas.
No, you don't get the thing. What it is he's coming back to get back with his wife. This is a bonding about family, coming together as a community, because it's all about these people that are in these hostage situation, right? You get the Die Hard individual story, but you get this really good story about how the group comes together. There's always this one person that's kind of taking care of the group, goes out their way, and it's basically about, being your loving your fellow brotherhood and shit like that.
Yeah, you could say the same thing about like other movies that aren't Christmas movies, man.
Hey, man, my theory is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is about, exploitation of people with deformities.
And you're just as wrong there as people who think Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Well, okay, why do you say he's wrong, by the way?
About Die Hard or about Rudolph?
No, about Rudolph.
Because it's one of those things. It's a further discussion I've always had of just. I think people overanalyze things too much, so they're trying to take like this thread and like, oh man, this is what this actually means, and that's the actual overall means. Where it's like me when I was hearing the stories and all that stuff about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. Anyway, I love that fucking song.
Until Santa could exploit his nose.
No, basically what it was, I always took it that the other radios were pieces of shit assholes that didn't like him because he was different. And it's just like, oh shit, I can relate to that shit because motherfuckers always beat me up and hate me because I was short. So it's like, oh okay, that's just a difference he had, and it's a difference I had. Where God is taking it some capitalistic bullshit because he wants to. Like,
hey, hold on,
no propaganda and rhetoric.
Hey, fuck, it's not propaganda. Think about it first, fuck. Rudolph is kicked off from his community, right? He's not allowed to participate in reindeer games, which I prove who's the strongest reindeer, the best at leadership. It's Santa's way of to exploit these reindeers into a position of power. And third of all, he ain't shit until he comes back. Even throughout his whole journey, it's only about him discovering himself. Santa and the rest of the community don't value him until it's a foggy night on Christmas Eve, and he knows his nose is so bright, and he tells him to guide his sleigh tonight. He's proven that
he asks for his help, and Rudolph, being the bigger person,
he is his boss.
Because he wants to show an example.
That's the thing, though. He is his boss. That's not really asking. Nick, hold on. Nick, when you're at the job, when your boss asks you to do something, is that usually, really asking you to do something, or is it really?
He wasn't an official reindeer. He literally wasn't an official reindeer.
He still lived with Santa. That's why they didn't give a fuck about him.
Everyone lives with Santa. There's the entire community that lives with Santa.
Don't get me started on what he does with the slave wage on those elves.
Oh Lord, slave wages! Oh my God, you're fucking ridiculous. There's no money in that city.
What the fuck is
happening? I can't even cry over here.
Jesus Christ.
Man,
my theory is sound, and the water's turning frogs gay, Alan.
That's not the fucking. Damn it.
I swear to God, dude, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Look at that fucking crazy.
I don't know. Dejan's just like. Well, he says, you want to show the DT chat? Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do.
Dejan knows I'm right. No, Cedric says I'm right. You damn right, bitch.
Wow, how about you figure out who's actually on your side first?
Hey, no, Dejan says I'm right because he brings up discussion about Santa's slave labour.
There's no money in that entire town.
This is amazing. I swear to God, y'all. I never thought we'd actually even talk about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But
you know what? One day, Nick, maybe next Christmas, I'll get into the next conspiracy theory that, Santa's story is all allegory for World War I, but that's for another day.
Whiskey Will, Sky Gonzalez in the chat, he's saying, yeah, Rudolph has a red nose. Clearly that's a code for communism.
Oh, and I wonder who's defending that it's all about, capitalistic ideals. I wonder who, motherfucker.
I love it. I'm loving it. But people know. But aside from that shit, I mean, this is somewhat of a Christmas episode since, it's only 2 days away from Christmas, which I don't know, man. I mean, maybe if we get into a call later on, we'll just talk about, everyone's Christmas stories and shit like that. But before we do that, though, that will be happening in the after hours, which is after the show. I already posted the straw poll, things like that. Make sure to keep, voting on it. Alan or Gandra could probably post the link once again in the DT chat so you guys can actually click on it, because YouTube chat does not allow you to do that type of stuff. I don't know fucking why, but it is what it is. Don't ask me. I'm just a big dummy. But as far as that stuff goes, there is rules for the after hours, and we'll discuss that at the end of the show. But there is also rules in case we give you a link to join the Hangouts on Air show, the Google Hangouts. So with that said, Mr. Ganja Guru, this is your chance to do what you do best. You've done it at least 365 times this fucking year. But
fuck you! I just realized that's actually probably true at this point. If you add up because it's not really 365 because we do it every other week.
Oh, I know.
It's like, what, 2 or 3 days? But when you add up, I've been doing this for 2 years. It's probably up there at that point now.
Oh, yeah, man. But you know what? What's going to hurt? Just do it one more time.
It's never going to hurt because I love doing it for these folks. It keeps them from getting kicked out the call and being dumbasses. For example, we're number 1. Newcomers, join the call first, guys. We're all about those new, fresh smelling faces. Those people we haven't seen in a while who want to come on for certain topics or have certain conversations with us. So hit us up in the PM boxes, either on our Facebook or on the Double Toasted page. Rule number 2, do not talk over each other.
Red-nosed racist.
Had a very shiny nose, and he worked for the KKK. Nick, shut the fuck up because we're on audio quality for later. Alan, shut up! Do not talk over us, because I'm doing the rules, and it just ruins people's viewership for later. Rule number 3, guys, please no nudity. We want to keep those frosty titties away from the camera. So keep inside your shirts. Don't show us how cold it is for those nipples. So please no nudity. Rule number 4, do not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show, and that clues comes off for certain topics, certain conversations, and sometimes who we want to fuck around with at the time. So do not hand anyone out the link, or we kick their asses and their dumb asses for clicking it too as well. Rule number 5, read the rules. And Allie girl, please tell me your mother's not there.
Don't be a mean person.
Oh, she is there.
Fucker!
Really quick. Oh, no. Man, I'm glad you brought up your mother because she owes me a cuss word. People, yesterday...
She's asleep right now.
I'm gonna wake her ass up and say he said
Are
say
you waking her up? You crazy?
No,
I was gonna say she might end up cussing if you
yeah, exactly. Wake her up. We're gonna get 5 extra cusses.
No.
Hell no, I'm not for this, man.
No, the thing
Let
is
her
basically
sleep in peace.
the thing is I will say the reason why, and I guess I will pat myself on the back. I don't get to pat myself on the back a whole lot because I can't reach that shit. But now I can, and the reason why is because fucking yesterday I was cussing up a storm, and Allie's mom was like, "You better not be cussing like that. I'll slap the fuck out you." Well, she didn't say fuck, but you know what she meant. And she basically told me, she's like, "I bet you can't go 10 minutes without cussing." And oh no, she actually said 5. She said 5 minutes, and I was like, you know what?
No, it's 10.
There was 10? Because I cussed when it was 5, and then I actually added it to 10. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do you one better. I'll double that shit. Double my money. I'll do 10 if you can say one cuss word. And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I go to 10 minutes. I didn't hear shit. Not a shit, not a fuck, not a goddamn, not a poo-poo. Like,
not a cunt, not a motherfucker, not a fuck, not a bitch.
Man, you would not have lasted that 10 minutes if I was in there fucking with you the whole time, man. Because I would got in there for like less than 2 minutes, and I almost made you call me a son of a bitch. I would have broken it. If I had times 10 of that, I would have won. You would have lost that for sure.
I just love that she tried to challenge me at first, and I just broke down. I was like, I know when to lose. I'm gonna lose a bet. No, I'm not doing that.
But here's the thing, Allie. I asked her. I was like, okay, who cusses more, me or Alan? And she was like, kind of the same. I asked Ganja. He said me for a second. I was like, man, fuck you.
Yeah. I stand by that answer. You cuss way more worse than Alan.
I do not think so. So I'm gonna ask
what? In the chat, man. Let's say the chat. Who cusses way more often, me or Nick?
Yeah, DT chat. And by the way, just if you guys want to be seeing the entire show, man, vote for this boy right here.
I won't bribe you guys because I already know the winner.
Man, I'm just saying, dude. I do not fucking cuss that much. I really don't. And Gary's like, Nick, you crazy motherfucker. I am crazy. Oh, Gary cusses the most, actually. Gary wins this whole thing. But yeah, make sure to let me know.
Competition.
But I mean, the chat listens to us a lot. So chat, like, yeah, you guys tell me who swears more, Alan or me. I love you guys. You guys are sweet people. I'm very nice, especially honestly too. Like me in person, I'm way nicer. And fuck Sky, he's a bitch. But fuck Cedric too.
We got 2 Nicks, 3 Nicks, 3 Nicks.
Oh. Wow, Tay. He's only mad because I just cuss out Anime Night and she's just mad at me.
Well, Anime Night is trash, and that's why we got rid of it. Well, who said that?
Oh, like Dejan Tay got me. Yep.
No, that doesn't count because he didn't spell my name properly. He's talking about the other Alan.
Goddamn, no, fuck you. Wait, Alan's not even your real name. Your name's Garrett Smith. So
I was gonna say, I was just gonna have that discussion right now.
We might as well at some point. I know, but
I don't fucking curse that much, Nick Diaz.
He is an honest man, that Nick Diaz. Someone you can believe in. Someone you can vote for. Vote for Nick Diaz.
I mean, I think Cedric just won this discussion right now by quoting you.
Man.
You lost that. They're quoting your ass now. You lost, Nick.
I don't even know if I said that, honestly. He's probably, I mean, dude.
The fact that you don't know if you said that is the point.
I'm just saying, you motherfuckers are liars. Like, you guys are lying assholes.
Like, man, you say that all the time when you're losing a discussion.
Now, really quick, I don't know what we're going to really say about this particular topic, man, but you're a scientist, right?
So this is what we're talking about, the first interstellar object.
Jesus, shut up, white dude. Tom Costello, goddammit. Actually, this is the person I'm talking about, Tom Costello. You started talking. You guys heard him in the chat. It was very loud. But either way, though. Yeah, some think an alien space probe just passed Earth and deliberately ignored us.
Are you trying to start arguments with me and him today?
Yeah, okay, man. Like, people are like, oh, man, this thing that went through the sky, man, it's probably a spaceship because it looks like a penis, man. Look at it. It's totally a spaceship, man. No, it's most likely just a rock, some sort of asteroid. Asteroids pass by our planet all the fucking time, not all, like, in random cycles. Like, it deliberately ignoring us, maybe they just had no idea how to fucking communicate. Like, you drive by a deer, you don't say hi to the fucking deer, you just move on.
I'm going to let the audience know right now something about you. Unless there is a Martian he's not going to accept anything unless the Martian comes into his room, pulls his pants down, and violently rapes him.
Apparently,
That's the only way he's
about
going to see this shit. Like, it don't matter what kind of footage, what kind of shit comes out. The government releases shit now. He's not even going to have, like, any inkling, like, maybe it could happen. He's got to have an actual Martian come and take the booty.
Motherfuckers have been walk ass with pictures and video and scales for, like, 100 fucking years.
This motherfucker had a debate with a Martian. He still wouldn't believe it.
Lord, yeah, as soon as some guy with a suit goes, aliens exist, we have proof of them. And God's like, yeah, I knew it. Like, that's what you are, motherfucker.
So, Ali, how do you feel hearing our conversation about twice now about these same arguments?
Yeah, have you heard this before? Because I haven't.
Oh, I heard them talking about aliens.
Allie. Like, I mean, right now, if you had to choose, I'm just gonna put Ryan in the middle of the fight because I'm an asshole. Because I'm honestly very heartless. But Allie, if you were to choose a side between Alan and Ganja, who would you just get near towards? Like, what sounds the most sensical? Because they both are fucking crazy.
Exactly. So I'm not choosing either side.
I mean, do you feel like an alien space probe actually did kind of like pass Earth and deliberately ignored us? And do you feel like that's possible in the future? Do you think they would actually pass us and not give a fuck to stop?
I think the world's butthurt that an alien probe passed us. Like, oh, we're not important enough? No, we're not. We're a little speck in the universe. We don't matter. We are little parasites.
She really are. It's like a bunch of bacteria.
She took the side of, yeah, they fucking ignored us. Yeah, what are you doing?
No, and here's the thing, too. I'm going to bring it to Allie as well. You've seen Signs, right, Allie?
Actually, no, I haven't.
No, okay. Well,
I know about it, though. Like, I know the whole twist and everything.
Yeah, and, like, the twist being that aliens fucked up, or they're fucked up by water. And I'm like, why would they ever stop at a fucking planet full of water?
I know, right?
Like, that's actually fear is mostly water.
Hey, y'all saying that shit, but maybe M. Night Shyamalan was right, and they were just the aliens now. They were trying to go, oh, we're going to check out Earth. Fuck that.
No, the problem is with that movie is they land on the planet, but most of our air has water in it. They'd be screwed if they went to California.
Alan, hey. You put in science in an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, the M. Night Shyamalan movie is actually what we're dealing with now, unfortunately. Because, like, I feel like one of these days we're going to go into a fucking Midnight Chat type basement and watch an old school TV, like fucking Walking Phoenix. We're going to see an alien pop up at a fucking kid's birthday party. Like, I mean, honestly, like, that shit was rough as fuck. That was one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in a fucking movie. Like, that looked so fake. But, I mean, we're aliens. We're aliens. What are we going to do?
How about when there's like this whole little segment about trying to get the son and the father to come back together and get him back to religion, where they have this one scene where he's like, swing away, son, and it slows down where he hits the alien in the face.
Oh,
just to realize coming back to fatherhood.
Oh, that's all. That movie's all about religion too, because it's all about wood and water are their weaknesses.
No, yeah, but then on top of this too, though, on top of that whole scene, there's so much shit like the last supper, the last dinner party, whatever the fuck that was, where the aliens they know the aliens actually at their house, and they're like, we know what, let's eat one last time, and then let's all go die in the other room. And it was like, oh, you fucking kidding me? Like, this shit's fucking stupid. Like,
so does that make Signs technically an Easter movie?
Okay.
I mean, yeah. But like, even Mel Gibson has a scene here too.
No, unless it happened during Easter. But as far as like aliens in movies, if we're gonna go down this road, to me one of the best ones I've seen is the District 9, where this ship essentially like it was damaged and just floated towards Earth and just kind of stayed there. And what they were is they were these bug kind of type creatures, but essentially they were like sick or there was just something wrong with them, and that was kind of what was going on. Like they were just they had no idea what was going on. They just like were almost insectoid creatures. And I was like, this makes sense. Like they built, camps for them. They built homes for them. And it was essentially all an allegory for immigration. And when we were watching, I'm like, wow, this is actually a really good interpretation of aliens that you don't really get to see in movies nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like there's a certain part in District 9 where they're like, oh, yeah, like, we made them fucking prostitutes. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if I haven't had pussy in 5 years. Why the fuck would I go and fuck these prostitutes?
You want to have stories about that, man? There are stories where they get like, monkeys and stuff and turn them into prostitutes.
Well, yeah, but still, man, it's a little bit different with this movie because like this movie has like this weird tone of like, oh shit, danger, oh shit, emotional stuff. They're actually being evicted, like they're fucking real estate agents walking around like, hey, get the fuck out your house.
That's the plot of the movie.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I love the movie. Like honestly, this is a 5 out of 5 movie. I fucking love District 9, but it's one of those situations where when you go back and watch this, and if you go into it ready to laugh or ready to kind of like pick at something, it's the most nitpickable fucking movie ever because there's so much shit that I'm just like, dude, really. aliens are getting evicted from the fucking house. Like, why would you evict from people from homelessness? Because like those houses are barely even fucking up.
They wanted the space to get them into shittier areas. That was the entire point. Is they're trying to evict them out of the houses because they wanted the space to get them to even shittier camps. But they're essentially lying to them, saying, "Oh man, we'll give you all this stuff," like they used to actually do back in the day. Because I remember when I was looking this up, a friend of mine linked me videos of them doing this stuff to other actual people, of giving them money to evict them out of their homes so that they can actually just redo the neighborhood and actually just keep the land.
Yeah, and Sky Gonzalez in the chat right now started making me laugh because he's saying it's cool till an alien takes your gerb.
Yeah.
But like, Allie, have you ever seen District 9? By the way, I don't think I've ever talked to you about this movie. You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about it, and what do you think about how they handle the aliens in the movie? By the way, I know it's kind of off topic in a way, but fuck it.
No, I love it. I love that movie, and I think that it is kind of. I could see that happening in the real life if aliens were ever to land and they weren't hostile, but basically, you know, everyone here on Earth were like, yeah, let's imprison them.
I mean,
you know,
we would be shitty like that, honestly. I mean,
yeah,
especially with Trump as president.
Oh yeah,
we would. So I think it's actually kind of a realistic way of how we would probably handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I even like the little story they told too, like the whole, like the subtitle little thing he's talking about over here, like, yes, we're good people, or you guys are fucking assholes, you know, whatever the fuck they are, you know. But yeah, aside from that though, I mean, I know we're talking about movies now in a sense because there's really nothing to say about that particular topic, man. Like honestly, if you guys notice, I didn't even put it on the side. I'm just kind of confused why this is kind of like, for one. That looks fake as shit. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Something went wrong.
Is that the actual footage? Because that looks like a photoshopped raw.
Yeah, that's someone trying to give you an artistic renditioning of that shit.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's people like thinking, oh, was that an alien? It's like, if okay, I'm gonna say this, that if random camcorders or random webcams on fucking jets can pick this shit up, NASA would have fucking heard about this shit first.
Yeah, and really, I want to show this really quick.
Meanwhile, I showed you a footage from the Pentagon release, and you still don't doubt that. So
I will doubt that. Again, you're not talking about, you know, the government drug trade or, you know, slaves in fucking other countries. We're talking about something that'll change the face of humanity forever. They'll make the show Ancient Aliens not a joke anymore.
Yeah, and here's the thing, really quick too, because watching that video that I just showed y'all. This is something that really kind of bothered me. Get this set up over here too, because as you guys saw, I just showed a thing that happened. LA was going bonkers. Actually, Julian posted something on Facebook saying, "Dude, I just tried to get a hold of fucking CNN, man, but there was a fucking spaceship in the sky in Arizona, dude. I'm calling AZ Central News, man." And he was fucking flipping out, right? Because he lives in California, which now Julian lives very close to me, and I'm fucking horrified. I don't want to see him, but
just crashes the show right now.
I know, like, dude, fuck you, man. No, but the thing is, this particular video, and I'm gonna show it one more time. This is on someone's Twitter, or whatever the fuck. Like, you know,
it's like a space whale.
No, thank you, because this is what I was thinking of actually. The first time I saw this, right there, Back to the Future. Like, I don't know why, man, but I was thinking of that, and I was like, man, it's a flying shark. It's actually from that thing we talked about the other day, that fucking Shark Zombies movie or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, this is some awful CGI.
Well, this thing, Jason kind of explained earlier when we were talking about aliens. He said it inside the YouTube chat room. It was basically I think it was SpaceX aircraft. They were testing something, certain rockets or some shit that they were doing up there in space.
Yeah.
So we actually have an explanation for that one. It's not like what we got with the Pentagon footage where we don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, but
just because God had to bust a nut.
Aww.
Oh, I love it. But no, what were you saying, though, Alan?
No, it's one of those things where God just showed me the footage, and it's just like, we've seen footage for decades, and the only reason God's like, oh man, because it's the Pentagon, but it's like, so we're believing the government when it comes to aliens, but we'll believe them about nothing else?
The only reason I keep telling you this, the only reason I give it a little interest is because most of the time they either make fun of us or they discount it. This is like the first time they ever come out like, yeah, this is footage from us. Government approval, USC.
Yeah, they approved of it, but it doesn't mean that it's aliens. It just means it's something in the fucking sky. Like, you're saying that, oh, until, you know, a Martian asks me out on a date, I won't believe it. Honestly, I'm going to get the point until there's actual fucking evidence, not just this footage, because we've seen footage of this for fucking years, decades.
Alan, just believe.
I do believe in aliens, 100%. I believe in aliens, but I don't believe aliens have ever visited Earth.
One thing I will say before you even continue on, I just want to say, Alan, a little bit of a correction. Ganja didn't say that, you know, you won't believe it until he takes out on your date. He said when the alien pulls down your fucking pants and rapes you. So let's just get this straight. You won't believe it until your ass is sore.
I wanted to change up the narrative a little bit, like Ganja does every time he tells a story about me.
No, but the thing is, though, as we continue on, I mean, everyone's worrying about this shit, which I do think, in a sense, it actually is important. Aliens are important. But there's other people. I mean, this is the thing I always have issues with celebrities and everything. Meanwhile, all of us are getting freaked out about fucking aliens invading. Somebody's worrying about something else. People, Wesley Snipes is worried about the Blade franchise. I don't understand why.
Fuck him.
Apparently, he goes. I guess the interview. I don't know how they figured this out. We'll read through the article as we discuss this. But Wesley Snipes doesn't want anyone else to play Blade. Now, obviously, this is something that we could have assumed without a fucking interview, without him actually saying it. Like, that's obvious. Like, I don't think any character.
Okay, I'm sorry, man, but fuck Wesley Snipes. Like, he's lost the right to be like, man, no one else can play Blade but me. When you inadvertently fucked up the third one. Because you just were not having anybody's shit. Like, there's a lot of problems with the script and a lot of shit that's going on, but there's also a lot of problems with you where the stunt double had to actually take on a lot of Wesley Snipes' scene because he just did not want to be Blade. So the fact that he comes out and says, oh, I don't want anyone else to do the character that I fucked up, it's like, that's like George Lucas saying, I don't want anyone to make Star Wars movies with me.
That's a perfect thing to say, because I was actually going to go to Allie really quick, because I'm wondering, like, people take Blade seriously. I do, too, in a sense. I fucking love Blade. But you, Allie, if there was a franchise like Star Wars or something like that, like, do you feel like these actors are owed their characters' roles, like, forever? Like, can Mark Hamill say, no one better fucking play Luke Skywalker in the future, like, etc.?
No, they can't say that because they don't own their character. Like, they don't own it. It's not theirs to say, oh, well, I can only play this. It's like, oh, the hell you can't? I mean, like, yeah, like, I mean, so many people are going to play whatever characters down the line, especially for, like, a role like that, or, like, Batman, or Iron Man, or Captain America. Like, these people can't play these roles forever. They're going to be given to someone else eventually. So it's like, hey, I mean, hey, he has the right to say that. He doesn't have the legal rights to actually say that he can only play Blade. So, boo-hoo for him.
But I mean, let me ask you this, though. How much of the Blade character do you think was created by Wesley Snipes? Like, the look of him, the way he acts, his talk, his mannerisms. Like, in a way, he kind of created it in a sense, because he did make it his own thing. But, I mean, do you agree with that at all, or not really?
Honestly, I can't say because I've never watched the Blade movies. So, you know, I'm sure he added a lot to the character. I mean, there's a reason why everyone loves him as Blade, but I'm sure there's someone else out there who can do just as good of a job as he, or maybe even a better job than Wesley Snipes.
Now,
they just haven't been found.
Yeah, and Alan, you're not Alan.
Alan.
You wanna, it's okay, call him Alan, we'll be fine.
I believe in aliens. I'm not a hipster like this.
I believe in aliens too, motherfucker. I just don't believe that my neighbor's a fucking alien.
He is, and he's gonna probe you tonight.
I'm not gonna alienate you, the two of you motherfuckers. But here's the thing, though. Like, what do you feel the same way Ellie does in a sense? I mean, I don't even know. Did you watch these Blade movies?
Fuck yeah, I did, man. I have the theme song on my iPod. When I first got my iPod Nano back in the 2004, that was the first song I bought. Was the Blade theme track. Dun, 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 dun. Dude. I loved the Blade movie, especially that first fight sequence. I know now it's kind of like old school and it's not as choreographed better as you get with the more modern films. But that was like the first film that I ever got really hyped watching. And just how they built it up so properly to introduce this character. Honestly, I kind of get where he's coming from, where Blade is the character, I think, Wesley Snipes. But the thing is, like Alan said, he did fuck up the third one, and he's the main reason that it was a piece of shit in terms of his acting, not only the script and the way the direction was went. Like, let's not all put the blame on Wesley Snipes. That movie was trash in more ways than one.
Oh yeah, but he didn't help.
But like when it comes to him, like I just feel like he's just trying to get a paycheck now that the MCU's really moving and people want to see a lot of these old actors come back and reprise their roles or have some kind of significance with it. But if I'd rather him be like maybe a minor character or maybe an extra with him, Blade, like they did with what's the dude that always plays the Hulk, Lou Ferrigno?
Yeah.
Like, they always give him, like, either extra role or, like, a small talking role, just as a remembrance or a reference. Yeah. Do something like that. Or if he really wants to have a say in it or something that can be changed different, maybe he could take on the role of Wesley. I mean, right now they're trying to do, not gender swaps, race swaps with a lot of the, you know, secondary and third characters who don't really need their story to be based around their race.
So Wesley playing Wesley?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, based on the third
No,
one.
it's Wessler. It's not Wesley. It's Wessler. I just remembered.
Okay, question about Blade in the comics. Has there only ever been one person with the blade? It's not like a situation where, like Thor, there's been like two.
No, it's his. It's like the Punisher. It's always going to be Frank Castle. It's
okay,
not
because I
someone
thought maybe they
switches
could
over.
do like the whole what they did with the Fire Nicolas Cage guy, Ghost Rider. They have another.
Well, they could theoretically could, but the problem with that is the Blade series is always initiated because his mom was bit by a vampire while he was still in her, and that's why he's a halfling. So that would kind of fuck up his origin story a little bit if they try to do that kind of change.
But canonically, is there a way that someone else can play him in the sense of like, hey, like before this
younger version?
Blade? Yeah, or not even younger version, but like his father or somebody that was somewhat connected to him that led to him being played by Wesley Snipes in the original movies. Like, kinetically, is there a way that we can go back, or not even go back, but go in the future where maybe he teaches his own, like, because I forgot, like, okay, Blade's a vampire that fights with the vampires. So technically, if you do enough practice with your fucking Blade and all that shit, anybody can be Blade. Like,
well, okay, no, the thing is the thing about Blade is he has all the powers of a vampire, the healing, the regeneration, the senses, all that shit. But he just doesn't have the weaknesses of fucking Silver and the Sun. So it's like there are vampire people that train, but they're still human. Where Blade he's more to it, so he's more durable. He can take more hits. He can do more damage to them. So it's like you could train people to be like be like him, but there'll never be anyone as powerful as him.
Yeah, and then I spelled it wrong. But I meant to say Swiss Army knife. I put Nofi. But yeah, no, I'm thinking he needs a son. Dejan asked me, he's like, dude, yeah, Blade having a son, fuck that shit. And I was like, yes, he needs a son. They can call him Swiss Army Noof. I'm just saying, Blade.
I'll fucking kill you, bro.
But no, like
I think his name would be Blades.
There we go. Or I don't know, man. Like or Machete. Oh, make him Mexican. No, but yeah, dude. I just feel like for one, dude, Wesley Snipes is old already too, and I've seen him in Expendables, and I was like, oh, you bad.
Barely was in the third one. Like he was just there.
Yeah, no, he was just there. But still, it's just I'm not a big Wesley Snipes fan. There's not a lot of movies that I'm like, oh yay, Wesley Snipes. I think everyone's kind of like, wait, him? Oh yeah, the Blade guy. I think people remember his character more than him, But
either that, or you remember from Jungle Fever.
Oh yeah, don't even remember.
Or
actually, I don't think I ever watched it.
Is the movie called Money Train?
No, yeah, I think he's on Money Train, but I remember him from Jungle Fever because that was a Wesley Snipes joint.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I remember like at the end. It's funny. The only thing I can think of at the end of that fucking movie is Anthony Wilson Jr. scene, just like.
I need the money, mama. Mama, give me the fucking mama. Mama.
Wait, where get a fucking mama?
My favorite scene is when she goes, "Where's the TV, son? Where's the TV? I don't know where the TV is, Ma. I smoked the TV."
Damn, man. I don't think crackheads actually act like that. That shit was too much. I haven't seen anybody act like that.
I've met people that were jonesing off of some shit. They are not rational actors anymore. They are looking for that high.
Yeah, man. God damn. But no, but
I was losing it.
But I mean, Wesley Snipes is probably petitioning to do that type of shit. But there's another petition going on. Actually, there's a bunch of petitions going on. We might touch on all this bullshit, but it just drives me up the fucking wall. But to start off, wait, what happened?
I'm still laughing at that shit. Fuck you, Alan. I'm sorry.
No, because you really just said, "Mama, give me the mama."
I'm sorry to rail it out. I'm sorry.
People, if you're watching this on YouTube and you just missed it, yeah, God doesn't know how to fucking talk. Mama, give me the mama. But the thing is, aside from that, the whole Wesley Snipes thing, him petitioning to not have anybody else make money doing the fucking same thing. I gotta say, man, this whole situation with Matt Damon, who didn't do nothing wrong as far as my recollection. Now, Alan, I know that you're doing some extra research that I didn't do because, hey, people, I suck. But really, like, has Matt Damon done anything bad to deserve this shit, dude? Because I don't think he did.
It's weird because basically what it is for people that don't know what's going on is Ocean's 8, which is the all-female prequel to Ocean's 11, which apparently is still happening. Apparently Matt Damon's was supposedly has a cameo in the film, so the film's being done and he's gonna have a small part. And people, because of he's apparently was friends with Harvey Weinstein, people are petitioning to have his role cut because now they're hating on hating on Matt Damon for having any association with Harvey Weinstein. And looking through it, and it's like I thought, oh, well, did he defend him? Maybe he said something. No. Apparently, the only thing that I could find was Matt Damon was basically saying like, yeah, we knew that there was something going on. We didn't know to what degree. And it's like it's not like Matt Damon's his brother, so it's like how much would he have known? But it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we know something's gonna happen at some point. We don't know what the fuck's going on, but we know it's bad. And it's like, apparently people are like, oh man, that means you defended her. That means you're an asshole. We're going to get you out of this fucking movie for some fucking reason.
Yeah, man. It is fucking ridiculous. Like, honestly, I mean, I read up a little bit on here too. Like, apparently you have a certain number of fucking, like, signatures already. Like, they're actually already doing well trying to get this shit to happen. Apparently they had 22,000 signatures. And I'm just like, okay, like, 22,000 signatures, this is obviously because of people's, like, you know, agenda of, like, I don't know, like, hating Harvey Weinstein's cool and everything, but, like, now we're just, like, really trying to, like, yeah, let's fucking destroy them all. And I'm like, I don't necessarily get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
ridiculous. Like, does that mean people are going to be like, oh, man, The Martian is not a good movie anymore? Like, come on. The movie's still amazing.
Yeah, but, you know, and this is happening a lot, man. Like, I mean, like, I want to get into a bigger discussion, but, like, The Last Jedi. People are petitioning to get this They're trying to petition for this to canonically get rid of Last Jedi from the canon, the story, the you know, trilogies, etc. That's ridiculous. The fucking movie's made, y'all. Like, how can you say that about Last
Jedi? The prequels, though, man, keep those in. But Star Wars 8, man, nah, that's some trash. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like, that is the silliest shit.
Do you see me and Ali arguing with you? This shit's fucking ridiculous. This petition of using government forums trying to get shit off of canon for free.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to start that off by saying, yeah, they fucking should.
No, because, like, dude, you can hate something and just deal with the fact that, like, yeah, your franchise did something shitty. I had to deal with that with Jeepers Creepers and fucking Nightmare on Elm Street and everything.
Well,
Transformers, for
actually,
sure.
It's a better one, Nick, is Rocky 5. Everyone hated Rocky 5. Everyone was like, man, this is the worst Rocky movie. I can't believe you're doing this. And Stallone
I still
was like,
feel that way.
Okay, yeah, but Stallone was like, oh, you guys thought it was shitty? Okay, let me rate Rocky 6. He made another movie to make it better, and Rocky 6 is great. So it's like, yeah, wait till Star Wars 9, you know?
Yeah, or if not that, just be like, okay, you don't like it, but some people do. Like, some people like the prequels, and, I mean, you're talking about Rocky 5 being so bad, I fucking like this goddamn movie. This movie was fucking awesome. And I mean,
I actually like Rocky 5 too, but I know everyone else hates it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just kind of like, you know, we gotta stop just picking and choosing shit. Like, you know, and just, you know, like,
I will give you credit, Nick, because this is one of the first movies I think me and Nick talked about because we realized we were Rocky fans, and one of the things we had in common was our love for sports movies. And the thing is, like, I used to virtually hate that fucking movie. I thought it was the worst thing that dude did. I thought it was a cash grab of the Rocky series. Basically, how I felt with, like, the second prequel movie of Attack of the Clones is how I feel with this as an adult. And after I talked to you a little bit, I kind of came around a little more. I don't like the movie. I'm not going to watch it on my own. We might watch it together as, you know, a group, and we can make fun of it, and you could defend it, and I'll make it more enjoyable out of that. But as of actually trying to say that I enjoy this film, I truly think it's trash show, but I don't fucking want to set it on fire like I did before I talked to Nick, and he kind of explained the ways he saw it and his from point of view.
Yeah, because, like, the movie is, like, it's a different type of movie. It's not your Rocky boxing film. I mean, the motherfucker doesn't even box at the end. You know what I mean? Like, at least Rocky 6 does that. You know?
This is a street fight where he beats the fuck out of him.
But that's the thing. That's what Nick described to me. Is like, no, that was Rocky going back to his roots because we all know he was an enforcer for the mob and shit. He was known as the tough guy around the block that would beat up people for cash or just if he felt like it. So it was showing that he went from this great journey because he fucked up and just kept that street mentality going back to the straight shit he was used to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, I mean, I know how I'm trying to segue, but at the same time, it does make sense in the sense of, like, this movie is trying to build that new audience, the Last Jedi audience. And I know people really hate how they handle certain things, especially, like, me. I fucking hate the way they handled, like, you know, General Leia and things like that. But the thing that frustrates me the most is, like, you guys have to realize, and I'm not saying, like, you guys and you and Ali, Ganja, but I do say, like, the fans need to realize that, yeah, this is not your Star Wars anymore. Like, even if you still like the franchise, you like the characters, you still like the universe, shit evolves and grows. We all in this call might be too fucking old to know what's a good Star Wars movie anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's good about Transformers anymore. I like the animals. If you talk to any normal Transformers fan and, like, hey, man, you like Beast Wars? Oh, man, that shit was fucking stupid. Man,
anyone that says that is wrong. But, Nick, I know what you're getting at, but, like, there's a difference between evolution and destruction, where I don't agree with Ganja and Ali as far as that, you know, the ending or a lot of Episode 8 where I thought it was kind of middle of the road. But one of my favorite gaming series of all time is Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to me, it's like, those games are always evolving and always changing, but they always manage to keep their core. But then the situation, and we'll talk about this, you know, and when we do the review at some point in the next week, of where Breath of the Wild, I feel, takes away from that in the same way that like how people feel Episode 8 really takes away from what made Star Wars interesting or good. That it was original, was that it was unique. And I can agree with them in that sense, where it does, a lot of it feels like it's a retread. Whether or not that makes it a bad movie, I think honestly for me are two different things. Of whether or not is it a good movie or is it a retread? To me, those are two different things. Like I can still enjoy it even if it is a retread. Like Creed, for instance, is very similar. Creed is very similar to Rocky 1 in a lot of same aspects, but I still love Creed.
Kind of like Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
as you say, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but
my shit went out. I thought you didn't mention it yet.
No, I did mention Breath of the Wild. That's where I started off.
Motherfucker, fuck you.
I knew he was gonna be sitting there smiling, waiting for it.
Son of a bitch, but no,
I jumped on it with no reason to do it. That's how eager I was.
And dude, Aaron, my boy, dude, like, man, me and Aaron are like this, man. I mean, you can't see.
Yeah, who doesn't like Beast Wars?
Dude, there's so many people that fucking don't. I don't know why, but Aaron, he loves Beast Wars, and I love you, Aaron, very, very much, dude. I haven't talked to that boy in a long time. I know he messaged me on Facebook. Sorry for not getting back to you as much as I want to and everything like that. But Beast Wars, though, that show is the shit. I fucking love that. And people always compare, which, okay, I understand the comparing, or the comparison, but like that and Reboot look very, very similar. And people are like, man, those Canadian fucking video or show makers or showrunners are terrible. Reboot was cool as shit. The Donkey Kong Country show was the shit.
No, it was not. I will draw the line
there.
What
the fuck? No,
I'm sorry, man. That was some trash.
Oh, how the fuck dare you?
Alan, I know why you say trash. We've had this argument like 3 times on stage since we've done that. You don't like the fucking animation style, right?
Which is Beast Wars, basically.
Beast Wars. I love Reboot and Beast Wars.
Then why don't you like this shit? Like, what?
Because the show was bad.
It was
It's nothing to do with the animation. The show was just bad. Like the jokes weren't funny, and it was just kind of eh.
Well, it's a kid's show. I mean, I will say the jokes.
I was a kid. What's your point?
Oh well, god damn it! Because I gotta say,
you're one of those fancy toddlers who read Shakespeare and shit.
I know.
Again, you're confusing me with Anthony Reboot because of the animation.
I did confuse you with Anthony. Don't talk about that.
No, well, that's the thing though. Like, I understand where both of you are coming from, but then at the same time, even with you coming from, Alan, and I know we're not gonna bring up. I promise we're not gonna bring up Walking Dead. But like,
oh, sure we're not.
But it gets into the thing of like, wait, I think I just did it. But the thing is like, you know, you say that the jokes are bad. Man, Beast Wars has some fucking cringy ass jokes. Like, it is.
But it's
like,
not a comedy though. Beast Wars, you would never say Beast Wars is a comedic show.
But okay, would you consider this a comedic show?
Yeah, because again, like, it was one of those things where I never understood this why I did this as a kid, but I would always sit and watch stuff just because it was on, and I never really understood it, and this was one of the shows. And this was a comedy. That's essentially what it was. It's supposed to be a lighthearted comedy, where Beast Wars is kind of a, really, honestly, it's a kind of a dark show. People are getting killed and destroyed and changed. People straight get murdered in that show. Like, it is a dark show.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. For me, I disagree with this show. I love this show, and I love all those things. But the thing is, like, people don't like this shit. But no one said, hey, get rid of Beast Wars from the Transformers thing. Hey, people, get rid of the Donkey Kong TV show from their fucking canon. It's like, wait, do you think someone has, actually?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Because Alan made a face. I was like, oh, wait,
No, get rid of the DK rap, though. That needs to be out of canon.
Fuck you.
No.
The DK rap is fucking trash, man. You know it.
Jay said, no, fuck you, Ganja. I don't know what you said to piss her off, but...
I told her to go fuck herself, but she said it was trash, talking about Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, yeah, Tay, no. Fuck you, Tay, goddammit, no.
Wait, Donkey Kong Country was fucking trash?
Well, the show, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Tay actually has really good taste in, like, video games and shit like that. And in animation, too. Like, honestly, like, maybe that's something that might change her mind just a tiny bit. Like, okay, if she thinks the show is trash, then they get it. But then again, she's young. People like me and Ganja and Alan, we're a little tiny bit older, and we've been through this shit. Like, we've watched these back when it was brand new, and to me, like, that's always, it's not just nostalgia. It's just, for me,
it's part of us.
Yeah, it's part of us. Exactly. I can't talk shit about that shit.
Well, it was back in the day when we couldn't just go on, some sort of streaming service and watch all the episodes. We had to, like, wake up in the morning to watch. I remember actively, like, as a kid, I would, like, bite my arm to wake myself up to watch cartoons. Like, I had to because of how shitty I was with sleep. So it's like that is a part of me.
But I mean, like I said though, man, like this has been happening so often with people and their fucking you know, petitions and whatnot. Recently, it's another big thing that's been going on right now, but the Carl Grimes death on Walking Dead. Apparently, people are wanting this whole thing to not be part of the show. They're actually saying, like, hey, even though you got bit in the ribs right there, you can see it. They're like,
bring him back.
Yeah, bring him back. People want Carl back.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Carl,
I want my baby back,
baby back.
Carl ribs, baby back.
Carl.
Man, I'm just like, I always hated those petitions because I feel like I don't think a single petition has ever really solved anything. How many times have we seen petitions for them to do stuff like this that goes literally nowhere?
I mean,
like,
actually, the Double Toasted petition for Marlon Wayans, like, he hasn't done anything else stupid since then. The change.org.
What about the Naked Show or movie or whatever the fuck that was?
Oh, fuck. Okay, you're right. Shit. Well, there goes that. But, you know, I mean, I do think maybe these petitions work, but then again, it's like, just like how you said, where it's like, man, who gives a fuck about these petitions? No one's ever going to change anything. And that's why net neutrality is getting its ass kicked. You know, so it's like...
Yeah, let's make that not canon.
There we go. No, so that's what's kind of, you know, strange, though. And I like how Tay's saying, like, yeah, I miss Liz waking up and watching Saturday cartoons. And apparently she says, like, yo, I'm 23. The fuck? That's young, though.
I'm surprised when people my age watch us because I'm used to people that are either older than us or younger than us checking us out or viewing us. So whenever we have someone that's like 23, 22, I'm like, damn, you should be out there partying. What are you doing?
Yeah, what the fuck? And again, I mean, I love it when you guys watch us like that. That shit's awesome. Especially when I'm making these references and y'all get it, you know?
It's fucking cool that instead of going out on a Friday or Saturday, they just want to hang out with us and just see what kind of bullshit we're talking about.
Yeah, which, by the way, you guys better fucking show up to Chicago in May. That shit'll be fucking awesome.
That's fucking dark, Chris. Remember we were talking about just a second ago the whole Carl thing? Mm-hmm. Chris Brown's like, maybe they should do what they did at the end of Shaun of the Dead and keep him in the shed.
Oh, yeah, that shit was great.
So wait, didn't Walking Dead Season 2 then?
No, basically, yeah, because this is basically Walking Dead Season 2. Have Carl be like, well, how do you work a fucking Nintendo controller? But, man, God, that was such a great ending. I actually was really happy
that's the only part of the movie I don't like. I think the ending was so... Because it was so, like, the movie ends and then just has this... I don't know, I felt that was very dark. Like, way too... Like, the movie... I don't know. Like, the movie itself was... Even though it had, like, a lot of dark stuff going on, I always felt like it was weird. It was a rated R, lighthearted zombie comedy for the most part until the end, until that very end where...
Darker than him having to blow his mom's head off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that drunk girl when she slides up the pipe and it's right through her intestines.
Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot that.
I felt that, like, I think, like, to me, it's like, I just thought that was, like, I was like, oh, the character's dead, they're gonna mourn. No, let's just keep him in the shed and feed him because of reason. I felt that, like, it's a personal thing, I felt like it was really fucking dark. I was like, okay? How am I supposed to feel about this right now?
No, and Tay, we're not very social either, honestly. I was awkward as fuck in New York. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, get away from me.
I'm the life of the party because I'm extremely intoxicated.
Absolutely. No.
And apparently I become the Energizer Bunny. So.
You really are the Energizer Bunny.
I am so... I'm glad you brought that up, little cocaine rabbit. All right. Alan... I don't know if it's because he walks around trying to talk to everybody, hanging out with everybody, or he just loves the crowd environment. He gets hot for that shit. But ever since I started hanging out with Alan, I don't know if it's because his hyperactivity or just his love of talking to everybody, but every toasty that comes from a certain side of town comes to me and asks me for a certain powder. I'm not talking about sugar. I'm talking about the one that goes up your nose. And they ask me for only one reason, and it's because they point at Alan and go, "What's he on? I want some."
Pure just love of people being around. Like I was called a friend of mine. I'd never heard the word beforehand, but he's like, "Yeah, you're an extrovert." I was like, "What's an extrovert?" I looked up like energized by other people. I am always energized by other people. When I'm in a party situation, when there's hundreds of people around, like I kind of just like being around in the party situation. Like I get to see 100 different stories. Every time I walk up to someone and say hi, there's something else going on. Either I fuck with Justin and embarrass him in front of a girl, or I see Dijon and Julian playing pool, or I walk up just to see how my friends are doing. Like there's always some story going on, and I want to see everyone's story. And then after a few seconds, like, okay, nothing much going on here. Let me just see what else is going down. I always feel energetic with that, and I love doing that.
Yeah, and people are talking in the chat too again about the fucking New York pizza thing. Listen, man, that shit was a cracker. It was a juicy, wet, fucking garlic-covered fucking cracker.
And what? You don't like crackers?
not waiting for an hour for the hot cracker to get here. Man, that sounds fucked up.
Ali, every time he talks about pizza, I don't know about you, but I just kind of zone out and just think of how delicious it was.
Man, don't get me started.
I want some pizza right now.
You know, actually, I'm gonna write a fucking petition to get rid of New York pizza and replace it with Domino's everywhere.
You are gonna get assassinated.
You will get with Domino's.
For Domino's, that shit was delicious.
Oh, fuck, you're just gonna replace it with cardboard.
No, man, why does everybody I know say that? I don't like cardboard.
You like cardboard with garlic and a little bit of cheese and sauce put on it.
Still delicious. But Aaron's like, that good cocaine sauce.
It's one hell of a drug, man.
Oh, man. And yeah, Alan, by the way, I'm just going to put this out there. Alan did not cop block Justin.
Okay? It was an accident, man.
God, I'm trying to help you, fuck.
My client did not commit the murder. I'm sorry. I stabbed in the throat. I'm sorry.
Man.
Jesus Christ. Fucking dude. Son of a bitch. But anyways. No, but Justin's great. Justin's actually smashing it. He's like, oh, you like that? Oh, IMDb. No, just fucking
at it.
We
don't need to have this discussion right now. Or at all.
In the name of Joseph Smith, I hit it from the back.
I'm going to tear that ass apart, Lisa.
I'm going to be banging this ass on, I'm going to be hanging this ass on my 7th planet.
Oh, poor Justin, dude. Oh, God.
I love my Mormon brothers and sisters.
I am scared for Mormon dirty talk in bed. That shit has to be fucked up.
Well, don't have sex with a Mormon. Your problem solved.
So, Allie, when we're going to hang out on resignations together, because I'm pretty much sure this is going to happen at some point.
Wait, what?
Oh, no, what the fuck is that?
I said something.
What did you even ask?
It's called Cottonmouth, and it's a motherfucker, sir.
I'm pretty sure you just asked her if we ever chill on a reservation. Will you be down with that?
Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
She should be a lot for... I can't even talk.
I'm mad for Allie right now. She just has that look of, what am I doing with it?
What I actually said was, Allie, you're going to hand us your letter of resignation. I said that wrong.
Okay. Tomorrow.
You know what's
Tomorrow,
funny?
she's typing it as we speak.
I'm thinking of, like, Katja asking, like, can you hand us your reservation?
Reservation.
Like, that's what the white people said to your people, Katja. But no, anyways, I'm so sorry, man. Fucking A. So... as far as these petitions go, man, like, do you feel like they're hurting these movies? And like, do you think they're doing too much? Because one thing I want to bring up, actually, too, is my boy Louis C.K. suffering from this shit as well, man. Like, the Gravity Falls thing, apparently they're going to redub all of his lines. Like, do you think that's necessary? What do you feel about that, Ganja?
I kind of feel like it's only the way that Disney's going to have a go about it is because one of his crime kind of involves like a sexual aspect, and Disney likes to stay 10 feet away from those kind of things. They're known as a Disney family company, and if they know a known like sexual assaulter is on a show, they kind of have to go out their way. And he's not kind of a central character. He's kind of like an extra or just a side character, so it's not that hard to replace him. And I kind of get where they're coming from. Like, Disney's always trying to push their family first products and all that shit. That's kind of one thing I hate about them and like about them, but you can't really make that shit up when it comes to sexual assault and try to keep pushing a kid's product with the guys that's, you know, basically committed this crime. But when it comes to this, like trying to petition all these people out of it, I mean, I get the idea, but it's like, how far do you want to go with censorship? Like, there's a point where you're just kind of just doing like that old Stalinistic era of just wiping people out and calling them no names, which is not really what America's about, and not really where you want to go towards, because now it's people that are sexual assault victims, people that assault kids and stuff like that. But there's only a few steps before you can justify on other people as well. And we've seen that happen in the past. And I just think, like, I like the idea of the not me too moment going on. People trying to get, you know, stories talked out. They're trying to get these people, like, you know, to get, you know, light shown on for their crimes. But I think it's getting to a point where it's kind of becoming a witch hunt, and it's taking all the negative aspects of the mob, people trying to go after these things, and it's kind of making these companies do kind of unethical stuff to a certain degree, because they are cutting these people out of the movies they're a part of, which I don't know how legal that is, because I think you sign a contract with a lot of these film corporations when you get royalties and stuff like that, and I don't know if there's some kind of morality clause that gets you cut off from that.
Oh yeah,
but
like, I promise I will not fuck anybody. I will not show my dick to anybody.
You joke, but Hollywood is actually filled with those. If you do like TV shows for kids and stuff, and you get caught like smoking weed or getting caught doing adult stuff, you can actually lose your job because they have morality clauses on it. You're supposed to follow certain aspects of the character. So I don't know if he broke a morality clause with Disney or they're just pulling the plug on his thing, and I don't know if that's legal or not. And I don't like the measures they're taking with this. I feel like if he's not guilty in the public opinion, he should be guilty in the public court, but taking to the point of like wiping the man off from history and the products that they've done, that's going a bit too far.
And Tate and Chad saying Disney made Hunchback. The priest has a song about love scene after a woman. So like, I mean, Disney just needs to. They've done some shit too. No one's saying, "Hey, fuck Disney." Like, let's redub the whole Disney. Like,
you talk about a song that might be construed in one way or another versus, yeah, this guy's being accused by people for real life stuff. Like, there's always songs that we take, out of context or even in the context might not be the word. Like, we're looking at the fucking what was that? The skunk Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
They still air that shit. Like, go back and watch some of that stuff. That stuff was just, it was done in a time where no one was really thinking that much into it. But when we look back on it, we're like, yeah, that guy was basically kidnapping her and committing massive sexual assault on that fucking cat. But It's just like, but it was made in a time where it's like no one really noticed this kind of stuff. It wasn't as obvious as some of the other propaganda. So I kind of get to a certain degree why Ganja's talking about this stuff, because it's like we're kind of going back and just like, okay, we gotta essentially fix everything prior. Because of what's happening now, and it's like that can be very dangerous if it's done for just people being associated with it,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's funny too, because I'm looking at this fucking picture of Louis C.K. over here, and the reason why I was laughing when Ganja was talking in the beginning is because he starts on a very serious conversation, and you look right underneath Louis C.K. He's like, huh, what's that? You look down at premium indulgent pudding, and just like, I don't know why, like, I'm an immature fucking dude.
What the fuck is premium pudding, and also why is it sold at Walmart?
Yeah, exactly. And just like in it, it's indulgent. Like, it's like, I like how it's almost kind of insulting. Like, this is indulgent. Okay, if you get this pudding, you're a fat fuck. All right, like you need to chill the fuck out. I love that, but I'm gonna get that pudding. That's.
I like how everyone started the pudding. Like, advertisement does work, folks. Don't doubt marketing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Babe, give me some money. I'm trying to tell people it's indulgent, you fucks. But here's the thing, though. It's time to move on to a little something. Pixel Picks. We haven't done this in a while, Alan. Oh, wait, he's going to change his shirt. Oh, wait,
that's the wrong. I just did Indiana Jones. Allie, can you do the Superman theme? I fucked up.
The Superman theme?
Yep, go, girl.
Da 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 da
Oh, here we go.
I was trying not to laugh the entire time.
Dude, honestly, you really look good in black, man. I gotta say.
That's what she said.
Now bend over real quick.
Wait, why did she say you look good in black? What were you up to?
Yeah, no shit.
You don't think about this shit too much, man. I say it literally at the end of every sentence. I don't have a thought pattern when I say that joke.
Just don't do it. God damn it.
No, because sometimes it's funny.
Alan don't want to be saved. Don't save him.
Don't save him.
He don't want to be saved. Oh!
What the fuck was that?
I just love that shit. Just...
Damn.
Man, I look like I got fucking radioactivity when you did that.
Nah, it was like some fucking Skrillex music video and the beat just dropped.
Drop the bass. Oh, my people, yes. We are here. That's fucking, I don't know. I'm immature as shit. I apologize, y'all. But clearly. The thing is, this is Pixel Picks, and basically, it's like Flex and Chill, except we review video games instead of, all that pesky fucking movie bullshit, even though we're going to do that right after this. Wait, what the hell is happening over here? A gimp suit or black fetus?
All right, so as far as the stats are concerned right now, there's a debate whether he has a gimp fetish and he likes to be dressed in all rubber outfits, or, which it might be my personal favorite, he does blackface with his significant others during sex. Both are great choices, chat.
Neither are true.
You guys decide Ganja's next run-in joke for the 6 months.
Fuck that, man.
That is wonderful.
God damn it. I'm afraid where it's going to head to next.
Choose the black
That's what she said. Oh, my goodness.
Let's start a petition to remove Alan from the NCA for blackface.
Oh.
Man, he didn't do nothing wrong, y'all. Goddamn.
Why you sound like Limp Bizkit?
He
don't do no blackface. That's me.
Because the way Fred Durst sounds when he sings, he's about to cry for every lyric.
Everybody leave that man alone.
Look up for my heart.
But no, here's the thing though. It's Pixel Picks. We're gonna be doing a little bit of some video game talk, video game reviews, things like that, because we haven't really been able to do this before. And my boy Alan has been playing his ass off lately. So I'm gonna ask you, what?
I'm a child. Continue.
Jesus Christ. That's my co-host, by the way, for our Untitled Gaming Show. The one that's laughing his ass off over probably something stupid. Okay, so... God damn, I'm trying to get my fucking words right. So, I've been playing a bunch of stuff because of the Steam sale that just finally came out, so I was able to pick up... The first thing I'll talk about was Starbound. And that's something I was kind of looking into, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like... All I knew about it is kind of some kind of indie side-scroller Minecraft kind of game. And then I played, I'm like, oh, this is some space game. Oh, this is actually a lot of fun. You get to go to different planets, you get to build all sorts of cool stuff, you get to explore like the entire interior of the planet. I was like, I'm really enjoying this because I get to build stuff, I get to do crafting. It's kind of like Minecraft and No Man's Sky kind of formed together, and actually made something really interesting. It's very similar to Terraria. Apparently, I thought they were always made by the same people. Apparently not, but it's a similar kind of idea to Terraria. But you get to go to different planets that have different resources, that have different structures, different enemy types. Like at one point, I fought a bunch of penguins with like tanks and guns and shit. It's fucking great, and you get to do crafting, all sorts of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. What the fuck? God damn it! I'm trying to review here. Why y'all laughing?
Continue, my brother. Continue, please.
Anyway, so what I enjoyed about Starbound was I get to basically explore and I get to craft right from the get-go. Unlike a game, Stardew Valley, where I felt like I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But with this, it's like you get to see a lot of interesting planets, a lot of interesting fauna, a lot of interesting creatures, and you get to explore underneath, and that's where the game really shines. Because as you're digging down, you get to see all sorts of hidden structures, hidden temples, different materials to help you build stuff, different civilizations, start to meet people. At one point, I go to a mining caravan that all of these crystals cause them to turn into zombies, and I got to fight my entire way through to destroy the boss. And I really like that because it gets really creative with this alien and space stuff.
Yeah, man.
And, yeah.
No, but here's the thing too, because you can do that also in Terraria. But the thing is, one thing I don't like about it is that you have to dig so far, and you have to do.
I like that a lot.
Sorry, I'm trying my hardest. The chat.
What? I'm not paying attention to the chat. What's going on?
They're talking massive shit. And it's hilarious.
YouTube chat, I love you guys so much. But
I hate all of you. All of you.
No, but as far as the game goes, though, man, as I'm watching this, because I didn't see anything about Starbound before. Like, this is the first time I ever heard you actually talk about this, and I'm actually wondering at a certain point too, of like, just because that's star or space, like, do you play these games just because of that?
Yeah, one of the things that I've always wanted is I love Minecraft. I play the shit out of Minecraft. I've always wanted a Minecraft in space. Like, that's why, like, as much as people, shit and deservedly shit on No Man's Sky, why I actually kind of like it, because I like space. I like the idea of exploring different planets and mix that in with a crafting system where I get to kind of build a little house, explore the planet, figure out what's there. I like that kind of stuff where I just take a random direction. I get to find a new civilization. I get to find new weapons. I get to find new resources. I can build something of my own volition. I'm like, I colonize this planet. This planet is mine. And Starbound kind of lets you do that kind of stuff to probably a much more degree than No Man's Sky, which is kind of sad because No Man's Sky is it's clearly a much bigger game, but there's a lot more to do in Starbound. So honestly, I'd recommend, if you're a huge fan of Minecraft, I recommend picking it up because you'll have a lot of fun with the game.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. Like, for me, looking at this too, I will say, I mean, I haven't played this game at all, but if you guys really like Terraria, definitely play this too. I've seen some gameplay before because I've actually wanted to get this like a while back. But I will tell you this much though, man. I am so surprised that you think this game is really all that cool because, man, like, I mean, you never really talked about Terraria before or anything like that. So it's like, this just looks like a ripoff. Like, I'm trying to find ways around it, but I just can't help it.
It's similar to it. I honestly thought it was, because the thing is, the Terraria, Starbound, and Stardew Valley all look very similar, and I honestly thought they're published by the same people, but they're made by different developers. But they're really small, so I'm guessing they just kind of took the similar art style. But they do very, very different things, and that's what I really like about it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Terraria. Yeah, Terraria is very similar to that. But Starbound's more about exploring different planets and exploring different areas and stuff like that, and making your own mark on each planet.
Yeah, no, it really is, because you know, like as I'm looking at this too, I mean, it does look nice. Starbound definitely looks a lot better. This is Starbound and this is Terraria, so you see those back to back over here too, and they look very, very similar. It almost looks like I'm not even changing the fucking screen. But God, man, I might have to check out Starbound, but only if it's super, super cheap, man. How much does this usually run?
Right now I think it's on sale for like $10 or $11.
Yeah.
Like it's usually $15.
Okay, and that makes sense to me. You know, I mean, I guess I'd probably just wait until it gets to consoles or something like that too. But I mean, we'll see.
Oh yeah. It seems like it's kind of a PC thing. I don't know if it's on consoles or not.
Yeah, but out of 5, man, like, what would you give this?
I think that I'd also give it a 4 out of 5 because it's everything that I want. I get to explore space. I get to explore different planets. I get to make my own crafting stuff. I get to explore a lot of different. It's always giving me something new, something interesting. There's always some sort of fun quest I get to do. So honestly, I can like when I have free time now, I'm probably gonna be playing it like as much as I can because it's everything that I kind of want in a crafting game. So definitely 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay, makes sense to me. Now you did play some other things too.
Yes. I finally, even though Ganja's been telling me, hey, try this out, because I've been saying, I've never been a huge fan of the Star Wars movies. That's known. I just kind of always found they're all right. I've been more a fan of the video games, and every time I say that, Ganja yells at me and goes, play Knights of the Old Republic. And I hear that from everyone, like, play Knights of the Old, play Knights of the Old. I'm like, I don't really want to, just because I don't like turn play games, so I always stayed away from it. So then I finally broke down, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to play it. And Ganja's walking me through it. And I actually am really enjoying it. It's kind of very similar to Dragon Age Origins, another game made by BioWare, which I fucking love. And I actually started getting used to the turn play combat. I get to set up my attacks. I get to do a lot of cool stuff with it. And I just kind of liked the world I was in. It made me really appreciate Star Wars a lot more because of I get to actually be there as opposed to just watching, Luke go on and do whatever the fuck he wants. I get to actually walk around the city. I get to wear some of the Sith armor. I get to say fuck the police and save a bunch of aliens from being fucked over by the Sith. I get to basically walk around this world, and that's something I always like to do with space games, is go to different planets, is go to different worlds, see different aliens, see different stuff. That's not just a typical, buildings in New York or buildings in, Los Angeles, the same old shit. And it's a real RPG that I get to increase my stats. So it's like, I'm playing it, I've only been a couple hours in, but I can totally see myself playing this until completion.
Yeah, man, because this, I think this is a game that I played a while back, too. Is this Ellie, the one that we were playing?
No, that's the Old Republic, right?
Yeah, because we're like Swatar, I guess you guys used to call it.
Swatar. This is Kodar.
Yeah, exactly. But no, and I mean, I like the whole farming aspect of those games, and I'm sure this has the exact same thing going for it, correct? I mean,
that's the thing. As of right now, I haven't really dealt with a situation where I have to farm. I know right now there's certain points where I'm like
literally farm, by the way. I mean XP farm, by the way. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry.
Oh no! I know. I know exactly what you meant. Yeah. I've been in situations where I've lost or I've had low health in a few fights, but this game's really more focused on not so much like levels, but having a good crew. Because this is again. I could see a lot of what they took to make Mass Effect and Dragon Age, because they took a lot of the fact that you have your dude and then you have your teammates to kind of different things. Like my guy is like, and Gotcha hates me for this, but I'll run into every gunfight with 2 swords, not even lightsabers, just regular swords. Just run into combat, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I know you'd be a pain in the ass in fucking Monster Hunter for sure. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you actually enjoyed this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just gonna finish up with my rating of the game. Right now, it's really early, but definitely 3.5 out of 5. I'm enjoying everything about it. I'm just waiting. I want to give it more and more, so I'm giving it kind of an above average rating because I don't know if the next hour and a half will suck. Because one of the things I don't like about the game, and only because it's older game, is I have literally no idea where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do. If Ganja wasn't with me, GameFAQs would be in a tab in the corner.
Yeah, no, and that's frustrating too because back in the day when this came out in 2003, back in the day you didn't have, you had GameFAQs and you had Cheat Planet and shit like that, and maybe the early stages of IGN, but you didn't have a whole lot of resources to go to and be like, hey, can you tell me how to fucking dip in the bear? People didn't even have to give you quality fucking walkthroughs back then. Remember, man, Ganja, you're old enough too. And you too, Alan, but back in the day, early stages of walkthroughs and whatnot, people would just be like, hey, go to the thing on the left. Oh, actually go back, blah, blah, blah. It was like, dude, can someone just proofread this shit and tell me what is what called? Don't say door number 2. It was just.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what'd you say, Ganja?
They used to make fucking fake up cheats. I remember you have maybe 1,000 GTA cheats and 200 are actually active.
Yeah, man, no, that shit was fucking ridiculous. Zone Blade over here is saying, like, yeah, did he use mods? I mean, mods. I mean, guides. Yeah, no, I actually use lots of moods to play some of these games, too. You have to be in a mood to play this fucking game because you'll just sit there just fucking scrolling and doing the same shit continuously forever. Which kind of brings me to the next game that Alan was going to talk about. And I'm actually going to review it, too, because I did play it. And yeah, if you guys feel like Alan's a contrarian and you think I'm a contrarian, I don't know who the fuck's going to be on what side here. But Stardew Valley, boy.
Oh God, man.
Why? We'll go ahead.
It's one of those things where I hated this game before I played it because my first thought is, why is everyone into a game that literally looks like they ripped out A Link to the Past's art style? I was like, this looks exactly like A Link to the Past. The way the flowers are, the way the trees work, the way the fucking ground looks. I'm like, this is just a repurposed Link to the Past game in which you just farm all the fucking time. Okay, and I just avoided it. I avoided the fuck out of it. I'm like, I'm not going to play this bullshit.
But Link to
so
the
then I
Past
picked
is
it
a
up.
good game. That's why they would do that.
Link to the Past is a good game, but it's like they ripped this off, and everyone's like, oh man, look at this great original game. I'm like, no, it's just Minecraft in Link to the Past's engine. What the hell is wrong with all you people? So I picked it up, and this game is so unbelievably boring. Like, you start off with your farm. You can pick whatever farm you want. You got to go clear all the fucking rocks, all the fucking weeds, all the fucking stuff. And I did that. In about 2 hours.
Weeds? Where?
Anyway, you gotta clear out your stuff before you can start farming. I cleared it out. I was like, why is my energy low? Why can't I do anything? Oh, you're exhausted. I'm exhausted? I've been working for 2 hours. How do I get not exhausted? Oh, go to bed. And then sleep for 20 hours. Wake up the next day. Go outside. Boom, boom, boom. I'm exhausted. Go to sleep for another fucking 20 hours. And then by like the 10th day, they're like, hey, we give you some more energy. We give you some more levels. Okay, now you can continue crafting and playing games. This game is so unbelievably boring. There's nothing fun about this game. Like, I like Minecraft farming. I've played Minecraft where I make a farm. But this game is just, it barely tells you what to do, which isn't necessarily a problem, but it's a problem when a game is so boring, where I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do right now? I'm exhausted. I don't know how to get not exhausted. I just planned stuff. I guess I just have to wait here. Oh, I got to look up. What do? Oh, go fishing or do whatever. There's so little in this game to do. Or so little that the game tells you to do, that it just becomes a bore fest until like you get a high enough level to actually fucking do anything. I feel like I'm playing a mobile game here.
Yeah, I mean, in essence, you kind of are, because I play so many games that are actually more advanced than this game is on my phone. But
yeah,
in contrary to what you're saying, I mean, I'll wait for that. I'll get into the thing that I agree with you with, and I do agree with you that I hate that this game suffers from, hey, it's the internet. It's a video game in 2017, 2016, 2015. Like, it's one of these games where you're supposed to just have the intuitive to go, or, you know, whatever the fuck, to go on the internet and just be like, hey, I'm going to GameFAQs this. I'm going to YouTube watch this. I'm going to figure out from other people doing a better job at playing this game than me, and that's how I'm going to enjoy this game. And it's like, well, dude, you kind of fucking, that's not the game. Like, if I'm going to do that, if I'm watching somebody else already enjoy this game, I spent 20 years, or not 20, but like 10 years when I was a kid being like player 2, or being, you know, the little brother who watched my sister beat and play games, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, I wish I could fucking play. Oh, that fucking sucks. And there's a whole generation that was like that back in the day, because your big brother, your big sister, or somebody would hog the shit up. And I'm not going to watch people play this shit online. That shit's fucking annoying. But then again, we get into a situation with this where it actually kind of helps, because you are rewarded for doing that. When I looked stuff up, there was shit ton of things to do, and the game doesn't tell you to do any of them, but the options are there. That's the thing that's cool. That's what sells this, is the fact that you're saying like it was boring to you. It's overwhelming for me. Like, it's like the same thing with Minecraft. Some people who don't like Minecraft say, oh man, I don't want to just put a bunch of fucking blocks anywhere. But then you figure out you had to furnace, you had to craft shit, you had to farm things, you had to take care of your farm. There's fucking monsters, there's skeletons, there's enemies, there's a fucking ender world, there's this, there's that, your fucking items are running out, you're dying, you need to eat, and it gets so overwhelming. You're like, dude, I thought this was about blocks. This shit is serious. This is harder than real life.
But even with Minecraft and the tutorial sucks ass, there's still enough of a tutorial. Like when I first played the game and I was playing the demo that was on 360, there was a tutorial that gave you basic stuff. This game just throws you into the world and doesn't explain the 100 fucking mechanics that it has. Apparently there's a mechanic in which you can be friends with people and they'll let you into their beds to presumably sleep with them. I don't fucking know. The game really tells you. It literally says you can't go into fucking Janet's bedroom because you're not good enough friends with her. I'm like, I guess I get to fuck Janet at some point. I don't.
Well, I mean, working in teams.
Lay down that pipe on the hoe. Oh, reference.
Like it's simple. Like it doesn't require. There's not much like there's. Minecraft is so simple that it works for it because it throws you into this infinite world, but it's so simplistic in your mechanics that everything just becomes after through trial and error. And I feel like this game doesn't do it well enough. Like I'm starting to craft now. I'm starting to get how to use stuff. But I feel like so much of it is me just scratching my head going, I think this is what I'm doing. I think this is how I'm supposed to do it. How the fuck do you fish? I still don't know.
Yeah. Damn, he is really fucking mad. I love it. I mean, yeah, and there's certain things I still don't know, but that's the thing. That's what's so brilliant about it is like you get so far into this where you still don't know certain things, and it's like, holy shit, there's still more exploration to go. So now it's earning your hours that you're putting into the game. And you're talking about the sleep mechanic. I love the sleep mechanic, and it's not even entirely like you don't really have to do it. Like if you're doing so much shit and you're working and you're doing a bunch of things, then it's like, okay, now you're trying to beat this, like you're trying to be one of those speedrunners, whatever the fuck. So the game's like trying to control you and your gameplay. They don't want you to explore the entire thing in fucking 10 minutes like a Cuphead will let you do. This is actually trying to earn your fucking money.
Yeah, but it's doing that by basically saying that, oh man, you cleared out 10 rocks, go sleep for 20 hours. How do I, get more energy? Oh, you got to go farm to do stuff. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like, oh man, you got to plant this thing and wait 8 hours in order for it to fucking grow. Like you're playing. This feels like a mobile game. It's like one of those things where it's like you can pay, yada yada to make it grow instant, or you can not. I feel like this is the standalone game equivalent of that, where it's like you can only work for 2 hours. If not, you got to go get, you got to go get whatever. Some sort of potion, but that costs thousands of dollars. In order to do that, you got to work more. So it's like, short of you paying money to the game to go faster, you're essentially doing that within the game itself. You just don't have to actually pay any real world currency.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I feel like that's the case with games like Sims and with fucking all those games that we kind of played the fuck out of around like 2002 to 2010.
I never fucking played The Sims for that exact reason.
Okay, well then shit. Because like for me, like that's another reason why I like this game, because I'm so grown accustomed to like Sims Build It or Fallout Shelter or games like that, where I'm used to having to spend some kind of currency, even virtual currency, just to kind of like move the shit along or whatever, or like to do whatever. And when I found out this game doesn't have it, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's games that exist that don't make you fucking spend a bunch of extra money to do normal shit. I'm loving this, because coming into this, dude, I was expecting a mobile game on my computer. So for me to enjoy this on a level of like, oh my god, it's an actual game. This should be on my fucking phone. I'm loving this. I mean, it reminds me of certain games like Adventure Capitalist, Adventure Communist. God's been watching me play it on Steam. He's been like, oh, Nick's going to become a communist? No.
Okay. Not that shitty gameplay.
Yeah. Wait, fuck you. Don't you talk shit about Adventure Communist.
That's kind of hard to call it shitty when it's just point and click.
I mean, I agree, but...
Not much gameplay. That's like saying, man, I hate that gameplay on Wikipedia.
I mean, we'll get into that in a little while. But like the thing is like, I feel like when you expect something and the game tells you it's something, and they simplify it so like, oh, you just farm, and then you end up like there's so much other shit to do. I'm like, you know what, dude? Like, you're earning your money, and you're earning the fact that like I'm exploring more gameplay. I'm exploring mechanics that wasn't told that was already in here, and the music's good. For one, dude,
I hate the music in this fucking game. This music game drives me out the goddamn wall. It is so just like, look how nostalgic we are. I fucking hate that shit. No, you know what? A much better game that has similar stuff to this? Fucking Starbound, which I gave a fucking 4 out of 5. Because Starbound lets you do crafting. It doesn't have, it doesn't spell like everything out like I'm a child. It does drop you in, but there's enough stuff there where it's like, oh man, you have this thing where it's like, hey, use this to craft. Oh, craft this one thing. Oh wait, I can't craft the stuff in here. I need to get wood. Okay, let me go find some wood. Okay, once I craft that, I craft other stuff. Oh, I can't get that. How do I do that? I guess I got to start exploring. Like it sends you on enough of a thread that by the end of that thread, you have a basic idea of the game, and then you explore. This game just says, drops you with a pickaxe and says, go fuck yourself, buddy. You'll figure it out.
But really quick, I'm just kind of curious. Really quick, you're saying this game you don't like that it speaks to you like you're a fucking child, but then earlier you were saying that the game is too hard and you have to go look up shit because
I said it doesn't have to speak to me like I'm a child, but it's one of those things where it's
as opposed to this that does.
Like, Stardew Valley basically drops you into a sandbox and says, "Go fuck yourself, kid. You'll figure it out." Where Starbound sends you enough of the individual quests, the small little tutorial things that it gives you an idea. It's like, okay, now you have a base idea of the game. The rest is up to you. Stardew Valley gives you literally nothing. Like, I had to figure out basic controls of how to even, I didn't know until like 3 hours in that my hotkeys were my inventory. I thought I had more. So I kept wondering why my thing was fucking full. It's like, it doesn't explain to you basic stuff like your inventory.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, for you, what would you rate this game? And then I'll get my rain rant.
I feel like it's one of those games where if I eventually get all the BS that I should have got at the start, that I'll start loving it. That's why I'm actually putting the effort I am. So I'm just going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 because it's not... what it's doing isn't terrible. It's just terrible at how it's explaining it. So I can't really say it's terrible. I just say it's terrible at its job. But its job it's doing is pretty good because, again, it's a fun game. I like this kind of stuff. I just wish that it was easier for me to get into so that I can enjoy it more. Yeah, but I expect to enjoy this game a lot more. Like if I played it and next week I'll be like, oh yeah, this is actually a lot of fun now.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I'm just going to be really quick with it. Like, I give this a 3 out of 5. It's right there in the middle of average. But the reason why I'm not giving this a 2 or 1.5 or whatever the case may be is because of the fact that I was expecting it to be as replayable and as, explorable. I just wasn't... I thought it was going to be really simple shit. I thought it was going to be like 5 screens. There's a shit ton of screens, and I still haven't beat the whole game. You would think after me spending about 18 hours in this game or whatever within 2 weeks... I'd be done and whatever the fuck. But no, there's a lot to do in this game, and it's really fun, and it's really soothing and chill, and I love that shit. But Ganja Guru, you actually played a game this week as well, sir. Go ahead and tell me what it was.
One of the things that I've really got into, and Ali, I know you're probably not going to like the Star Wars trend that we're on now because of all the fucking hate from Last Jedi, but I've kind of gone back and started playing the Last Jedi series again. And the only reason I kind of came back to the second one is because, for all you people that don't know, it was horribly broken. It was a shitty video game. It was glitched out to the point that some dialogues would skip, and you had no idea what the character said and had to guess what your answer would be. There was times that animation would skip. Times that your character's mouth would literally pop to the side and see his tongue. Still happens. But thankfully, a couple of modders have come out, and even a couple of the official people have come out and modded the game and made it actually somewhat workable and somewhat playable now. And it actually has been updated to a certain degree, so now it actually looks pretty clean, kind of hype. So I'm actually getting back into it. I'm really enjoying the gameplay. I'm seeing what Obsidian was trying to do, because the thing I like about Old Republic 2 more than the Knights of Old Republic 1 is Old Republic 2 gives you a lot more options, a lot more of a character choice, and a lot more dialogue choices to be either neutral, evil, good, or sometimes in the middle. The problem with that is because the game was rushed so heavily, and it's kind of the thing with Obsidian that me and Alan were talking about, is they want to make these grand RPGs with these great entangling storylines that have dialogues that reference back to what you did before, characters that reference what you've done, and builds up what you are as a character. Basically what real life would do if you were someone that was this one person that was making this huge change throughout the world. And the problem with that is, to make a successful game like that, you need 10 to 15 years development time. And Obsidian does not get that. They get 3 months tops.
Oh my god, so honestly at this point I don't feel bad for them anymore, because this is like the fucking second time, because they had this and then they had Fallout New Vegas where they just said, "Oh."
Did he just choke? What the fuck, Alan?
He gone. He died.
Ali was force choking him. She finally got his ass. Say that's what she said one more time, motherfucker. But anyways, to continue, I got you, Nick. I got this. But anyways, to continue with the game, I'm really appreciating the setup. You could tell they were trying to make the combat more fluid. It's still almost the same basis from the Knights of the Republic 1, but it's more reactive to when you start to click. Whereas the first one I felt was more basic RPG, where you kind of just let the character do what he wanted, and they would do a better action sequence than what you did. And I feel like my points matter more, especially when it comes to persuasion, because you have a lot more character checkpoints to get when you do dialogue. Now, Ali, have you ever played the Knights of the Republic series, or just SWTOR?
Just SWTOR.
Why is that, and why do you hate those stuff?
I don't hate it. It's just that I'm done playing really dated-looking games. Like, I won't lie. I like playing games with really amazing graphics. So, by the time I was really into video games, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stick to the more recent stuff. So,
man, you suck. Because the thing is, this game it's so much better than an MMORPG bullshit you got put through, because it's actually focused on storyline, like what Ali was talking about beforehand. He actually gets that it's supposed to drive the story forward and not supposed to be an XP farming thing, where you could do XP farming with the old series and make your character stronger, but it's not necessary to continue out with the story like it is with SWTOR, which I felt kind of helped me back as a player, and I don't think you agree with me when it comes to that.
Okay.
Ali?
Well, you know, I gotta spend my money where I really want to sometimes, so I can't get everything. But hey, I'll take your word for it. I mean, hey, I watched a little bit of a playthrough of it, and it at the end, the story itself is very interesting. I just couldn't get over the graphics.
You suck.
I mean, honestly, those graphics. I mean, I know it's dated and everything. And Allie, she does not like older shit. I just it kind of frustrates me too because it's like the millennial shit of like, hey, you know, these games is what made us where we are today. You know, like don't say shit on
I appreciate them. It's just that, are you gonna pay for it?
Hold on. If it's like that, I'll drop it in your gift box right now.
Stop it! I have. Because I can only play half of it.
I have your Steam account. I could easily drop that bitch in there right now.
Stop! And I
hold on a
second.
Computer.
No, stop.
Hold on. Hold on.
No,
don't you do it. Don't you do it. No.
Block him from being your friend.
Use some money to get me a Visa gift card so I can get like Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Fuck that! Fuck you for even thinking that.
Okay, for one, let's not talk shit about Battlefront 2. The Last Jedi, sir, you both spent your own hard-earned money on that shit, so fuck both of y'all.
Actually, I used my gift card, so I got it for free.
See, you gotta get that movie pass is what you should have did. But,
I should have.
Yeah, actually, man, one of these days we're all gonna have, the whole world's gonna have fucking movie pass, man. Like, come on, dude, fucking $7.50 for a fucking one movie, really? Fucking bullshit. Anyways, but no, this game looks like shit, Ganja. But I know it has to be fun because I just don't know why you would come back to this shit. So with that said, like, what would you rate this, man?
I would give it a 5 out of 5 in terms of what the storyline is. Well, you know what? Honestly, that's a fanboy of me. I'm going to come back from that. It's not a 5 out of 5 because you got to consider the glitches, the fact that it was rushed, and a lot of the character storylines are going in. So it's a strong 4.5. Maybe it's just a 4 because you got to take into account the graphics, the problems that they did have, and they weren't able to finish the game like they probably wanted to. And the ending is very what the fuckish. It's one of those really open-ended endings, kind of like Inception, where you don't get a real conclusion, and it just makes you feel like you're cheated. Besides that, I still love it, and I recommend Allie check your Steam right now.
Oh, no, don't you do that.
Man, I shudder every time he says that.
No, because he does that shit. That's a problem.
I do too,
Alan.
I have the entire Nico Power collection.
Man, okay, someone's going to take a fucking soundbite out of that shit and just be like, I have the whole Nico Power collection. And then it's just going to be like, wait, why? There's no, like, context?
Because Ganja and another one of my friends that none of y'all know are both assholes.
Oh my goodness. But here's the thing, I'm gonna just make this really, really quick because Ganja, I'm curious as to why you talk to you about this. I'm not even gonna do a full-on review. There's really nothing to review about this fucking thing. But Adventure Communist, why are you shut the fuck up. Don't you ever
that animation is so shittily.
What? That's not shittily. Whatever the fuck you said. That's not even a word.
I said shittily, sir. It's a Ganja Guru created. Add it to the Webster Dictionary by next year. Anyways, I just don't like it because it's like that old school Mickey Mouse animation, kind of like what you get from the Fallout videos when they would show off like the special powers or like certain skills and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it feels cheesy to me. And I never seen the gameplay. I seen you play it maybe once through the Hangouts, but is it really fun? Because I feel like it's one of those cheap knockoff games like, you know, President Dictator or some shit where they don't really focus in the game and it's just like, hey, buy this game because you want to be that hipster who bought Venture Communist, man. Well, I got the whole series, man. I got Adventure Communism and Venture Capitalist, man. I got all the ideology on my Steam.
I like how Allie right now is looking at this like, what the fuck? So basically the idea of the game, I know it looks silly, but that button, I'm going to go back really quick and you guys can see this. That button right there where the potato is at 25, you click on that and you sell 25 potatoes, okay? Now, you would think that's like, okay, so what else? That's it. The end. But the thing is, though, when you click on this, though, here's what happens. Is you unlock so many potatoes by clicking that it gets to a point where now you can, you know, sell land, but you need a certain amount of potatoes and you need a certain amount of money made by the potatoes and the farmers who make the potatoes. No, it's basically life, okay? Like,
man, this reminds me of a description I read for Civilization 6 where it's like you got to plant corn. You gotta move around environments in order to plant more corn. You gotta fight off war so you can plant the most corn. You gotta plant enough corn to get into space. Like,
yeah, no, actually, dude, literally, that's the same thing that kind of happens where, like, with the first one, Adventure Capitalist, where you actually had to go to space. And this game does not shy away from those particular aspects of fucking storytelling or anything like that, because in this game, too, see these things over here, like cultural, I'm fucking up big time, boost, you actually have to get scientist potions, which the potions basically mean you can buy a scientist. And when you get these scientists, they find out ways to make your game move even faster and things like that. Almost like a mobile game, except the game is free and this shit does not cost money. It does have like a loot box thing, kind of like Overwatch, where if you want to, you can spend like $50 on some shit. But the game gives you enough where you never have to do that, and you don't have to wait for shit. That's the best thing, is you don't have to fucking wait for upgrades. It's like, and this is a mobile game, by the way, too.
What?
Yeah, keep laughing, motherfucker.
Of course it is. It's a fucking, all you do is click to make tomato.
I feel offended they made a game called Adventure Communism where they sell DLC packages and commodities for $1.99. That's
and it's
damn
on
near
Apple.
shameful.
And it's on Apple.
Dude, have you read the description? It's a fucking joke game, dude.
It's wonderful. And look at that. Now you got 125 potatoes, man.
Are you just? Is this a video, or are you playing it right now during the show?
It's a video, but the thing is, like, I don't even have to prove that. Like,
it's not even a realistic game, Alan. You weren't allowed to sell private commodities during the Soviet era. This is totally factual history, brother.
But this is the thing, like, when you get into a situation like this too, with a game like this, it gets to a point as well where, I mean, like, honestly, you were talking about Stardew Valley earlier on your review of that game, and saying like, yo, it's so fucking boring, and this could be considered boring too, but if you play it a certain way, and it gives you many options of how you want to play this game, I mean, it's nothing's fixed here. Like, nothing.
Man, that is totally wrong. You should have one unitary way of having things organized and standified, man. What you talking about? You should have one gameplay for everyone that has an equal gameplay through all pathways.
Is that the communist way?
Check out the Star and Hammer.
No, yeah.
I thought about they check out your Steam. I was like, what are you gonna fucking send them?
Al, you check your Steam. You check out the Star and Hammer.
Actually, you know what? Both of you guys check out your Steam, because I'm gonna buy you guys the free Adventure Communist game.
I was gonna say, isn't it free?
You know, actually, everybody look underneath your seats in the chat. Like,
I don't think you can actually buy this. You can't actually buy a free game.
Don't send me that shit. Don't you send me that. You can send me Adventure Communism. I'll accept that with open arms. Don't you send me that capitalist bullshit.
I'll give you both. Which, by the way, I like how it's capitalist and communist, and they're the same fucking game. They're exactly the fucking same.
Capitalist, the Shakespearean game where you play
always been
against the monster
with
goose.
duality.
Fuck you guys. But yeah, for me, dude, I would give this game a straight right in the fucking middle, 3 out of 5. If we're doing a rating system for these particular things, I would say stream it. Or not even stream it. I would say, you know, rent it. Like, don't spend no money on it, but definitely play it. It's worth your fucking time. After a month, you're not going to be playing anymore. And the coolest thing about this game is that when it's not on, it actually has one of these, like, passive, like, it still makes potatoes.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm playing the game right now as we speak. That's what's so cool.
I kind of wish it did the real thing, what was going on in the Soviet Union, and have you make illegal vodka to sell, like, in the black market so you can, like, buy better health care or buy actual commodities and shit. Like,
this isn't an RTS, man.
Like, let's just go full on, just fuck the Soviet Union style. Like, if we're gonna do all the jokes, let's do them all.
Yeah, but like, come on, man. You look at the fucking game. It's just like text editor the game. Like, all he's doing is clicking, and stuff's happening in the corner. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a slot machine right now.
So you're saying it doesn't value your labor as a gamer, Alan?
Okay, don't you dare try to make this game deeper than it actually is, motherfucker.
Does it make you feel like your labor is monotonous?
This is the Rudolph bullshit for the start of the show, where you're trying to put like extra meaning onto some bullshit.
Baby. Full circle.
Okay, no one ever said the MCA is not full circle.
And Trey, I give you enough shit, man. I know you looked underneath your fucking your bed over there and you found a broken piece of your mattress. I'm not buying you more shit, okay? Like,
what
free.
The fuck does that mean? How's your mattress falling apart?
I know. I didn't want to ask any questions because I don't want that boy having sex in my fucking house. But yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry, Allie. That happens. People have sex, especially Trey. Trey gets all the bitches. There's fucking.
He gets all the hosts.
No, but anyways.
Allie's always watching. Allie's always disappointed.
Absolutely.
Always judging.
Judging Allie is judging you. But here's the thing, we are done with Pixel Picks. Now we're gonna get to what we typically get to, and that is Flicks and Chill. What the fuck happened in there?
Oh, when you choked out on something.
Oh yeah, when I died, right?
what happened to you, man? Were you eating?
Yeah, I was eating something, and in mid-sentence when I was talking shit about Obsidian, it decided to just go down the wrong tube, obviously. So I was kind of like, oh shit, I should mute my mic. I don't want the fucking show to be discarded. But I guess it just looked like I just died in the corner. Because Trey just texted me like outside the Hangouts, like, "Hell, you okay, man?" It's like, oh, I'm alive. I didn't die.
Do we have to call the ambulance, dog?
He's thinking about it. He's like, Maybe.
No, I can't. That fucking GIF, that skull set, man. I'm just staring at that shit.
We'll put it like this, you know. Well, that's not anything. Damn, my bad, y'all. Here we go. There's that YouTube chat, that beautiful YouTube chat, etc., etc. Now, one thing I want to discuss really quick, too, is that tonight we're not going to be talking about spoilers for Bright, but I will be reviewing that. But, yeah, you don't have to run away. And if you are scared about spoilers, leave. Come back some other time. We might do a spoiler talk maybe on Wednesday in the midweek chat tag. Are you guys for sure going to be watching Bright? Ali, Ganja, Alan?
I might now that you checked it out, but honestly, man, I have no real intention to check out like this allegory about black people with orcs instead.
Oh yeah, trust me, I'm not gonna argue with that because one of the lines of the trailer was, "Man, fairy lives don't matter today," and that was Will Smith saying that.
Oh God, yeah, I did not think about that. One thing is though, we've always been just doing regular reviews of like big movies, like all of us together watching this one movie, and then we do the whole thing. But one thing that you guys have been doing for a very long time is a show. And I do not get it because you guys have been watching this fucking Riverdale, and no matter how much it pisses you the fuck off, you still watch it. I do not get it. Yeah, like, Allie, girl, like, you watch so much bad shit.
Oh.
All of y'all.
Yeah, I can't deny.
All you other brothers can't deny. When a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
Oh man, you know it's funny that you're doing that because this fucking chick over here—that's the wrong thing. But oh, I fucked it up. Sorry.
Oh yeah, what's her face? What the fuck's her name? Cherry? Cheryl? What the fuck? I keep forgetting her name.
Big lips.
Big lips. Big lips.
No, but there's a girl fucking winking over here. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, there she is. Oh my goodness, she's pretty and everything too. Like I mean, I will say if you want to look at fucking hot chicks, just.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of attractive women, none of which can act.
Archie sleeps with them all.
Oh god, it's ridiculous. Archie is the biggest piece of shit in the fucking world in this show.
Okay, see, I mean, aside from that, because that's something that we kind of elaborated a lot in the season 1 thing, right? And this is season 2, correct? If I'm around here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
trust me, he's not any better.
Well, like, as far as Archie goes, like, is there any kind of growth? I'm going to start with Allie on this one, but, like, Allie, is there any kind of growth with Archie at all? Is he somewhat important here, or is it the same fucking old shit?
No, it's the same crap. I'm really trying to think hard. It's like, well, I mean, in some ways, he's kind of a good friend, but then he's a crappy friend, and he only cares about himself, and... yeah, these people are really great people.
God,
yeah, man, I do not get this shit because if I was watching with you, oh, go ahead, Ganja.
No, I was just saying to continue on with not Alan's point. Sorry, Allie. Continue with Allie Girl's point. You know, Archie as a character, he hasn't changed much, and if anything, he's gotten more extreme, more brash, and has become more of an asshole and almost like a danger to himself and his friends. Like, I don't know if you guys have counted it, because Alan and me and Allie watched this religiously. Matter of fact, I just found out tonight was a new episode, so
Wait, new episode? I thought they were off for a season.
No, they just released the 10th episode because I saw a trailer for it and it got released either today or yesterday. Yeah. And the thing is, they have developed a murder mystery now around the character because the one is, I think it was season 1 ended with his dad getting shot in a robbery. I thought, and all of us thought, it was going to be like just a rip off of Archie gets killed, and instead of Archie as his dad, we have to go through the emotional turmoil. I'm losing my father, and it just turned around to be a serial killer from like the 1970s who murdered somebody who might be a vengeance killer because his parents were killed by this wackadoo serial killer who was also a priest. And then you have a side story with Jughead, who is allegedly selling drugs and guns, who was never shown, but it's heavily hinted to through the dialogue that he's moving illegal narcotics. We get into the mom, who we find out is now an ex-serpent, and we got to deal with what's her name, Betty, going through the dealing with her relationship, feeling about her mom's past, and developing with this now the serial killer who's doing this weird. What did you say it was, Alan? What was he mimicking?
The Punisher, basically.
Yeah. No, it was Jason. Because he's going after people that have just slept with other people. Like, it was one of the things I understand. It's like, we're going through all of these different things, and we're just guessing at what stupid bullshit. When we said it was going to be the Punisher, because the Punisher has been to Riverdale before, and we're just waiting for John Bernthal just to show up and ruin the show. Or ruin his career, I mean.
And you're right about the Jason thing, because this motherfucker, like, he has killed so many people on the show, and this is Friday the 13th, but, like, man, dude, I gotta tell you, like, it's people having sex, and by trees, by the way. I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Trees.
God, it's ridiculous.
Literally in Camp Crystal fucking Lake. And then, like, somehow there's a kill. The only thing I will say, though, is I am glad that they use shit like, for one, I really hate about serial killers nowadays in any kind of show, not just horror stuff, is when they use like some kind of knife or something that gets a really good fucking gory.
He does use a knife.
Yeah, like shit like that. But this show uses a gun, and they do the gunshot stuff pretty well. Like, I mean, I know you guys talking shit about Riverdale, but like when there's a death scene, I'm like, oh shit, like that came out of nowhere, and those gunshots are fucking loud. They happen when you don't really see it coming, and they happen like they would in real life. Like, I mean, at least in my opinion. I mean, Ganja, like, what do you feel about that, man? Like, the death scenes, do you feel
Nah, man, the death scenes are fucking brutal. At one point, I think it's the head of the, is it Josie or one of the Pussycats or the extras in her band?
Oh, yeah, it was Josie. It was actually Josie.
It was actually Josie. He actually gets her fucking throat slit. Like a horror movie, and there was blood coming out. Me and Allie were fucking surprised that they went that far.
Oh, let's not remember the torture that Jughead did.
Oh, Jughead's actually on the show?
Man, yeah, Jughead does something to this person who's trying to hurt his father, and to keep her away, he basically carves out the tattoo of the serpents from her skin, saying that, oh, you're no longer the serpents now because you don't have the tattoo anymore. Like, he actually carves it out of her skin, and I'm like...
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. It's like something like, Nick, what you're saying, it's like, yeah, those were cool kills, but you haven't sat through the fucking 18 episodes of garbage we've watched.
Yeah,
no matter how cool
CW drama.
Yeah, that's like, no matter how good, or gory a kill is, it doesn't justify the garbage we've had to sit through. Ganja forgot something. They also, pretend, they also have, like, they force in a race conflict, well, quote-unquote race conflict between the North and the South.
Oh, which, yeah.
I keep on saying every single character in the fucking show looks like one of those preppy white kids. So this is just confusing for everyone involved. And they're like so on the nose where they're like, man, we got to have a political commentary about, race and relationship and the rich versus the poor. But then we also have to have gay commentary. But then we also have to have this stupid mystery. We also have to have Betty, who's apparently magic, and we'll just make shit
Man,
up.
Nick, Alan hold on, I want to get on this one part because this threw me off because I thought Alan got mad for a different reason. Alan got vitriolly mad at this one gay storyline about this kid going into the woods looking for love because he was in a small town that there's hardly any gay people, and the gay people are there are basically in the closet about it, and it's basically a hookup spot. Alan asked me, Leo, is that a legit thing? And I went through the history of LGBT people and how historically they had to go to pretty much seedy places to hook up because that's where no one would look or no cops would go or people that would harass them. And he's like, man, fuck this series. I was like, damn, Alan, what are you, homophobic? He's like, no, man, this series ain't good enough for this shit. I want to see a better movie about that than this bullshit ass television show.
It doesn't earn it. It's really, out of nowhere.
And I think it's done just to turn on girls, man. Because I saw some of this stuff too. And this is not the scene I'm referring to, but it's like when you see the gay stuff, it's almost like they're just doing it because the guys are good looking or whatever the fuck, and that's why it's there. You know what I mean? Like, because I honestly, and here's the thing I will say about the show too. At least they're able to go all the way with the shit. Like this, I will say, is classic. Ultra gay. Bravo for the gay. Because in Moonlight, I was so mad. I know it's going to sound weird coming from me. But I was so mad that we didn't really get to explore too much gayness. I was like, if we're going to be gay and do this whole thing about gayness, you better give me some gay. I ain't getting enough gay. That could have been a normal-ass story with no homosexuality in it at all. It would have been the same fucking movie. Like,
yeah, but it's like what I was saying was why I got angry is the show, it tries its best to do this, but it comes out of nowhere, it's not earned, and it's never talked about again. It's literally one scene, and then it's never talked about again. I'm not saying the entire season should be about it, but it's like, if you're going to do this, earn it. And it never earns anything that it does. That cool kill that talk about where Josie gets, hit in the throat with an arrow, or when Jughead, stabs a bitch. It's out of nowhere. It never feels like it builds up. It never feels like it's earned. The thing is, I watch this mostly to watch Ganja cringe, but Jughead is actually my favorite character on the show because he's the only one that feels real. He's the only one that when he's set to the other side, he is doing the emo thing of, the whole world is a darkness, and I'm the only void in this light of darkness and dark and void.
The world is a vampire.
Man, I'm waiting for the Smashing Pumpkins to play. But the thing is, when he's not doing his depressing, talking over, his entire motivation of a character is to survive in the environment that he's in, and he's doing it like well to a certain degree, that I'm like, I kind of am rooting for him to make it through, because I know what that feels like, where you're just surrounded by all this fucking criminal elements and you just don't know how to fucking survive in this shit. So you're doing the best you fucking can. I'm like, no, I like, wow, this guy's actually doing it. So he ends up being de facto my favorite character because it feels like he's the most real. He's staying to what himself is, a terrible person, but he's surviving in this criminal underbelly that might eat him up if he's not careful.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, for one, you tell me about this character, I can tell that character by just looking at this motherfucker. I understand why you would like him, but it's almost too on the nose, because the way I'm looking at him, and I don't have no audio on or anything like that, people can tell in the chat, and this motherfucker's face is just like, oh,
yeah, he's an emo bitch.
Yeah,
but when
I
you
can't stand that shit in movies or shows.
And I can't say that too, but when you see him dealing with the criminals, we see him deal with the serpents and his dad, and it's like, he might be fucking up, but he's always trying to survive. Like, like his character, the best way to describe his character is he's in the deep end and can't swim, but he is paddling for his fucking life. Like, that's how he feels, where it's like he is doing everything he can to not drown, and I can appreciate that from the character's perspective.
Now, Ali, I'm going to ask you really quick, too, because we are all talking shit and everything, but I like to kind of, like, you know, stay on the solutions. Two things, what would you do in two different ways to solve this show? Like, what would make this better? Because you got into this for a reason. So, I mean, go ahead. Like, if there is anything, I mean, I don't know.
There's so much. You put me on the spot.
I mean, like, if
like,
anyone can, like, I mean, anybody can just jump in too, but like, because I know that's like a pre-loaded fucking question. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, at this point, bro, like, I don't think there's anything you can do to save this series or change it into a different direction. Like, it's as the sufferer of the WB syndrome. Like, it's one of those new Dawson Creek ones. Like, the murder sequence is probably the closest you're gonna get to an update with trying to make this more interesting. But like, the fact is, they kind of busted their cherry with that, and now we're going into something that they're hyping up. One of the crazy characters going crazy, which it's either you jump the shark or you start crazy from the beginning. That's pretty much where this show's at it now.
Yeah, man. But and I didn't mean in the sense of like save it now, because sometimes when things start sucking so much and they go in a certain direction, I mean, we'll get to the villain right now too, because the villain, boy.
Well, I have a few ideas actually on how do you fix the show, because so I watch a lot of other CW shows, the superhero stuff, and they always have situations where they have bad seasons, bad half seasons. Like Supergirl is an example of that. First season is trash, but they managed to make that second season incredible. And they didn't change the actors, they didn't change the setting, they didn't restart. They still continued it on, but what they did is they made everything a bit more personal. They gave different characters different motivations, changed up a little bit of their personality, and focused a lot more on making the characters grounded. The problem with this is no character in the show feels real. Betty does whatever the plot wants her to do. Archie is a jock asshole with no personality. Veronica just fucks everything she can and is a preppy, spoiled bitch. Jughead is just an emo kid because he's emo and has black hair. Like, these characters are Wikipedia page entries of characters. Where it's like, if you want to do season 3, forget this murder mystery bullshit. Have them go to class for once in a while. For high school kids, we never see them studying. Okay. Focus on more realistic, like, actual stuff that kids would go through. Build up the actual relationship between these people, because it feels like they're just hanging around each other to fuck.
I don't know.
After that,
No, I don't know, Alan, but like, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like, the thing which you're assessing is like, I think that's just gonna, like, as you're just describing it, all I hear is do 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 do. I don't want to wait for my life to be over. Yeah. You're basically describing Dawson Creek, and like, we either get that or we keep going crazy.
Not necessarily.
And I prefer the craziness. To be honest with you,
I don't, because it's just, it comes out of nowhere. It feels unearned, unwarranted. That's why I was freaking out about that whole thing. I'm like, that's a real thing that you guys shoved into your show because you want to be like, look how political we are.
But the big thing here too is like bringing up Dawson's Creek. I mean, this is just Dawson's Creek is what it is. It's just one of those types of shows. Riverdale, I was expecting more out of, and I'm not even into the franchise. But when you guys were flipping out about it, and it has all this lore and all this fandom and everything. I mean, like Dawson's Creek, there's people that probably like it. I even remember watching a lot of it when I was a kid. Don't remember even one fucking character's name. And that's something I really want to bring up too, is the fact that when you're talking shit about this, you know every character. That shit can't even be said for Walking Dead sometimes. That shit can't even be said for any fucking movie nowadays, really, for the most part. I mean, to write for that many characters, whether you like it or don't like it, that is kind of saying something. Like, that's actually kind of awesome. And, I mean, speaking of awesome, Ganja, Ruthless said that your singing makes his day a lot better. So if you can do that more often, Ruthless, I mean, I think he's starting to like it.
I like to break mirrors with my voice. It's so magical and mystical.
But you know, like for me, I mean, and I only seen like 3 episodes. People still like don't whatever the fuck. But like for me, it's like looking at the show. The main thing I would change if I could to just go back and say, hey, we gotta fucking change this shit. That villain. Now, people, big spoiler coming up right now. I don't even know if any of you guys give a fuck about spoilers. Yeah, I mean at this point, but. They keep showing, and Allie kept bringing this up every time we're watching it.
Oh,
It's like the janitor. Every fucking scene when something's happening, he's like sneaking his head out of a fucking wall, like, "Ooh, what do y'all say?" Ooh, like, and Allie was like, "Look at, he's a killer. Look, it's so obvious. Like, just showing him."
And y'all were like, "Nah, Allie, he ain't the killer. That was so obvious."
It was so obvious. Like that's the problem.
Man, Allie, come on now. When the camera does that in a CW show, or like
I gave them more credit, man.
It is always what you think it is. It is not like ever going to be like, oh, it's someone else. It's never going to be that. It's always going to be what your first person that you choose is.
Yeah, I mean that scowl on his face. I mean, he is just like, dude, like he is so villain. Like he's like.
But that's my thing. Is like he's so obviously the bad guy. I'm like, no. It has to be something more interesting, more convoluted. It can't just be the thing I predicted episode 1. No. It has to be
interesting writers.
No, but that's the thing. Like Alan, like no, like I think we all agree with you. Like even Alan's saying that. Like we all agree. Like we kind of wish that it was not the killer because it was so obvious. But yeah, and I know where you're coming from because I was in the same way. Like I was actually surprised when Allie told me like, yeah, Jenner was a killer. I was like, wait, what? They actually went with that? That was so obvious. Like, why couldn't it be somebody else? And, like, on top of it, too, I mean, maybe it made most sense because at least he was the only one who looked like he would be a villain in a way, too. Like, I mean, Allie, is there anything you could say that redeems him being a villain? Because for me, there ain't fucking nothing. But, no.
Okay, not only is there nothing that redeems him for being a villain, there's no reason why he's in love with Betty.
Yeah.
They never explain why he likes Betty. He just likes her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looking like the way he does, I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not the best looking dude either, but looking like that, it's like, do you need a reason?
Veronica's way hotter.
Well, to you, I actually don't even like Veronica. You know,
I'm just saying, like, because the whole thing is like, I'm in, like, basically, oh man, he's in love with me. The killer's in love with me. That's why he keeps calling me. He keeps telling me he wants to be together. Why? I don't know.
But it's just like, like, I mean, for me, it's like Allie, like, just solutions again. I know I'm putting you on the spot once again, but it's like, who would you have if you're writing this show? Like, who would you have the villain? Like, would be a good surprise for you that you'd be like, okay, not only is it a surprise, but it also makes sense.
I just like one of the pussycats. Like, I don't know, like. Oh, yeah, you freaking, that's what she said. No,
like, I was just thinking what I was that has nothing to do with anything.
Man, it sounds like you're going there. But no, yeah, just someone you would least expect. I don't know, someone you thought was like really nice and warm and inviting. It turns out they're not who you think they are, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, even that to an extent, especially a show like this, like that's why I like mysteries, because like when I go through like 5 different scenarios and there's not that big of a universe, like I know I'm right somewhere. So now it's like I'm just took some pieces out of the mystery. It's like it might as well be better off with just nobody that's even on the show yet. You know, like I thought that'd be kind of
cool. That's basically what happened. Like that's what the twist was.
I gotta commemorate. I've been watching this other show, Pretty Little Liars, and it's terrible. But I have to at least commend them for like the whole thing is like trying to find this person who's been emailing the main characters or like text messaging them and getting them to do like blackmailing them and even doing some really screwed up crap. Like they don't know who it is and they don't even know who the killer is for their best friend who passed away. So it's like the show keeps like hinting like, oh, maybe it's this person, maybe it's this. No, it's not. No, maybe it's this person. Oh, but there's new evidence. It's totally not them. And so they're always like throwing you off the trail. And I have to actually kind of commemorate the show for doing that because like when they I'm on season 3 right now, and like when they actually like tell you or show you who the person is who's been like text messaging these girls the whole time, it's like, first of all, the character that they happen to say, you thought that for a moment when you first met the character because he was kind of weird, but then afterwards you're like, oh no, actually he's actually pretty decent, he's all good. And then it's like when they show him doing this stuff, I'm like, oh, what? Because it's like they throw you off. Like they should throw you off the scent or the trail to really screw it up, even if you might think, oh yeah, that person's definitely it. And then they do something like, oh yeah, you know what, never mind, I don't think they are like I don't think they are the killer or whatever. Like, they should be doing stuff like that to kind of throw you off. But this show does none of that. They're just kind of like, here's the killer right here. You're like, okay, well, that was anticlimactic.
And even doing that, too, is like, you know, you can start off with a mystery, but, like, once you get to the episode where we see enough of the janitor, at least kind of, like, show us from his perspective. Don't make it a surprise to us anymore. Make it a surprise to the characters. So it's like, from our perspective, we're seeing the janitor creep through the back of the thing. We see him like, I'm going to fucking kill that bitch. I'm going to fucking shoot that person. That would have been cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, this is what they should have done. This is what they should have done. It should have been Archie's dad should have been the killer.
Yeah, okay. Well, why is that, by the way?
He orchestrates himself getting shot so that there's another killer around, and then he becomes the killer just to kill all the other people, that because a lot of them are connected to Archie. So it makes much more sense because he kills some of Archie's friends and like his teacher that he's fucking. So it's like, it connects back to him because his father doesn't want him to go down a dark path. So he's killing all these people because his father is also crazy. And I think it'd be a huge surprise. And also really stupid, and I like it.
No, I mean, that would have been a surprise. But at the same time, it's like, I don't even know. And Allie's actually apologizing to Justin Z, saying, like, sorry, Justin, I know it's
terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, Allie, speaking of apologizing, what connects Riverdale and Pretty Little Liars?
Man, I was so angry. I'm watching this Pretty Little Liars. Okay, let's get away from this ABC family. All right, like, they're kind of okay, you know, teen drama, whatever. I find out that there's implied incest that happens, like you learned something, and I'm just like, are y'all serious? Like, I tried to get away from this, and I cannot get away from these shows. Implied incest. They did it twice, too. Twice!
Again?
I was like, what? No, that's the one that, like, they first, like, let on, like, oh, man, I love this person. I'm like, wait, aren't y'all cousins? And it turns out that they weren't cousins, and I was like, oh, thank God. But why did you say that? Like, you could have led with, like, oh, we're not cousins, and I loved her, instead of doing, like, I loved her, oh, we're not cousins. Because I'm just getting this, like, weird freaking, like, Game of Thrones thing going on, all of these shows, these teen shows, and I'm just like, what? But, man...
You do have some bad luck, man. Like that, and I want to like do this again too because I don't want people to feel like, oh man, like Allie goes for this shit. But she has this weird problem where everything she's into somehow there's some type of fucking incest in there. And Justin just said it right now in the chat.
I don't ask for it.
I mean, it's like, dude, we watch Borgia. It's like fucking the main story.
Oh, I have a list.
Okay, Borgia, I'm not surprised about because that was the whole thing. That was the rumor with that family is that there was incest going on.
Yeah,
so
a lot though. It's like Jesus Christ, like you know. But like, and you said you have a list, Alan. Like that's actually weird. But let me see.
The Crown, Game of Thrones, Borgia, Riverdale, Pretty Little Liars.
Crown?
Yeah, because I wish Ganja was here right now, but apparently Prince Philip and the Queen are like some version of cousins or something like that.
Man, did I just get back to incest?
Oh yeah.
Wait, is there incest in the Crown, Ganja? I don't remember.
Yeah, Queen Victoria is Philip's great grandmother, so they're like third or fourth cousins.
Allie got mad too when the fucking when she just had the chats. It's following me, guys.
But no, but you're saying the thing is you're even saying too, like Game of Thrones and that man, everyone's fucking into that. Like I don't even know what the fuck with Game of Thrones.
That's where it started, man.
Game of Thrones got all kinds of instances. They got different types. They got fucking aunt and nephew. They got sister on brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they just don't quit.
No. Father on daughter.
And I love how people defend Game of Thrones. Like, it doesn't have rape or sex all the time.
Well, okay, because again, if it was Riverdale status, then it'd be like, yeah, 100%. But the thing about Game of Thrones is it's still a really well-written show. It's just those parts where we go,
well, no, I know that. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, it's like, I know it's not like 24/7, like, fuck, breathe, fuck, you know? You know, I know that's not the case. I know there's dragons and all this fucking fantastical fucking, like, Lord of the Rings shit going on. Which, by the way, if you want to see it better, watch Lord of the fucking Rings. But, like, you know, yes.
I'm not a huge... I'm going to get shot for this statement. I'm not a huge fan of Lord of the Rings.
And I don't like both. But the thing is, though, like, coming out of it unbiased, I will say it's way more... It's made well better... God damn, I can't say words right. Fuck that sense. I'm just saying it's better than Game of Thrones. But on top of Game of Thrones, too, even the finale ends with more fucking incest. And then Peter Dinklage peeking through the fucking door watching, like, come on, man. Like, this is fucking weird.
Like a little perverted elf?
Yeah, no, not like it. He is a perverted elf. Or elf. Where the fuck? It's an elf. But, yeah, I hate that shit. But, I mean, like, Game of Thrones, yeah, it's people, like... Come on, it's incest and sex and rape all over the fucking place. No more defending it. You can't defend it anymore. It ends off with the shit. Poo-poo.
Yes.
But as far as Riverdale goes, and I mean, I will say, like, I love looking at the chicks, you know, and I'm sure girls love looking at the dudes. Like him, even Allie was like, oh, look at that 6-pack on him, and she doesn't even look at dudes, and she don't really care about that shit. I'm not saying that you're, you know, like playing on the same team, but I know that you don't really get all hot and bothered over guys. But you looked at that I think it was Archie, and you're like, oh, look at that fucking 6-pack over there too. Even Gandhi was
all right.
Yeah, but it's just like everybody's just so attractive, and I actually hate that shit about horror movies sometimes because I hate when they go into a high school, and I'm looking for like one fat dude, one fat girl, or somebody with acne, somebody that's normal.
Somebody's besides Barb from Stranger Things.
Yeah, everybody is. No.
Oh yeah, that does happen to change, man.
R.I.P. Barb.
Wait.
Man, that's so bad. That makes me mad too.
What, actor or a character?
That's okay. So one of the things in one of the running jokes of Stranger Things season 1 is there's this character named Barb, and her only crime in life is to stop her friend from doing some stupid shit with a dude she barely knows, and a guy that's clearly just out to get, you know, in her pants, and she's trying her best to be like, just go home. You don't have to do this. You're not that kind of girl. And she's like, man, fuck you, Barb. Go home. And Barb leaves, gets captured by the fucking monster, and it ends up like dying halfway through, and everyone forgets about her.
Yeah, but
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so bad. But I will say though, yeah, fuck Stranger Things too. Fuck everything. Fuck New York Pizza.
Everything that you've either looked at or not watched.
That's gonna be another straw poll we're gonna talk about next week or something. He's like, hey, who hates more things, me or Alan? But either way,
based on the last 5 minutes, I think you'd lose that one.
Yeah, I gotta see some positive shit like next week. But no, as far as that stuff goes, though, what do you guys say for rating-wise? Now, me, I'm just going to throw something out there. It doesn't mean shit because I didn't watch, like, barely any of this fucking show. I only watched 3 episodes. But for me, what I assume I would say is probably a 2 out of 5 because if you're into this show for what it is, if you're even trying to watch it for a certain reason and, you know, you're halfway there, it gives you what you want, I think. You want to see hot chicks, you get fucking hot chicks. You want to have a mystery, you get a little bit of a mystery. And it still makes sense. The Jared thing might not be a surprise, but at least, you know, it makes sense to the story. I mean, we were told that it was going to happen. So,
sure.
Yeah, one of those things. But yeah, for me, I would give it that. But Alan, how about you, man? Like, what would you rate the show?
I love watching it with, you know, Trey and Allie and Ganja. So that's always a fun experience when we're just watching and bitching the show. But I had to like assume if I'm watching it on my own, which I never would in a million years. So I just gotta give it the lowest rating I can. I gotta give it a fuck it because I would never in a million years. I would never watch this on my own. I would never sit there and be like, I'm gonna watch Riverdale today. Like when season 2 started and it was like 8 episodes in, and I was like, hey guys, we're gonna do Riverdale again. Everyone was like, no. I'm like, okay. And we never watched it. It wasn't until one was like, hey, fuck it, let's watch it. We had nothing better to do. That we watched a bunch of episodes in a row. So I honestly can't recommend this to anybody for any reason at all. Like, for anything, there's nothing interesting, there's nothing good about the show, there's nothing redeeming about the show. But if you and a bunch of friends just want to watch something bad and have a weekly ritual where you watch a bad TV show, this is a good bad TV show because there's enough there that it's not boring, and there's enough there that's terrible that you'll laugh at and go, what the fuck is going on? So there's enough there, but I would never recommend watching on your own. So I give it a fuck it.
Fuck it. Allie, how about you, girl?
Yo, so I would give it an avoided. Because I wouldn't quite give it an F it. I'm not going to say the word. But, no, but because, like, it is really enjoyable in a terrible way. And it's really enjoyable, like, with what Alan said, with a bunch of friends. So it's like, hey, I don't know why, but I'm super excited every time, like, there's, like, a new episode out for some reason. Because I feel like now it's just a ritual we do, and it's just so much fun, just, like, bagging on the show. Or sometimes we'll do something, we'll be like, wait, what? Or, like, you know, it's just really fun to watch.
Allie makes it sound like we would do like parties if we were like in the same neighborhood and shit for these shows.
Yeah,
we would, man.
We have everyone over like it was the Super Bowl for the Riverdale.
Come on, guys, get pizza, drinks, man. Of course.
Pretty much, yeah. Like take a shot every time like someone does something.
We'll
crazy.
Be dead.
Yeah, we would be dead. But
opening recap.
No, but like you're saying, like it's really fun. It's really fun. It's like it's stupid teen drama stuff. I mean, hey, I like watching that type of stuff. No, it's not Gossip Girl. That's, I think, the highest caliber of teen dramas.
Why?
So, on a scale from Gossip Girls to Riverdale.
Gossip Girl to Riverdale. I wouldn't say Riverdale is the lowest, but no. I think, though, if you like that type of stuff, if you like Pretty Little Liars, if you like Gossip Girl, Vampire Diaries, that type of stuff, then yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I'm not angry about it. I have fun with it. I'm happy. So avoid it.
Avoid it. Now, Ganja Guru, how about you, sir? I know you're gonna go rough on this fucking thing.
Not really, because this season was actually one of my favorite ones. Like I said, it jumped the shark, but it was like a good jump the shark, if that makes any sense. Like it went to so much of an extreme that I was literally not knowing where this was gonna go. That's why I was mad that Allie was right, and they literally did the same bullshit with the ending of with the serial killer, and it was the same fucking dude. I was mad because this show for the whole time was doing left turns, right turns. We find out someone's parents were an asshole. We find out someone's grandparents did some dirty shit in the 70s, and we're finding out like with Veronica's parents, like they are like some like monopolists, like mafioso type. To the point, like, they have, like, secret businesses that are her name that she doesn't even know about. Like, they go into a great detail of the characters and how shit goes with them. And I actually did like the story of Jughead trying to balance this gangster lifestyle with his dad and is trying to actually make him redeem
Alan's
himself.
head right there.
I was going to say.
Delicious! Tastes like shawarma.
That's what you get for giving it a fuck it.
Tastes like shawarma. It tastes like shawarma, I imagine.
I don't have that much garlic on me.
But the thing is, like you show Jughead, like his whole storyline is basically him trying to become like his father because his father was never around, and his dad now living that lifestyle, trying to get out of it, is basically trying to pull out of his son out of something he really wants to emulate his father in, and it's just like a great back and forth. And besides a few like mishaps, like honestly, I really enjoy the series. But if you really want my personal opinion, if I wasn't watching with Alan, Ellie, and the rest of the crew, I would have hated this shit like a motherfucker. So honestly, if you want to watch this by yourself, it's an avoid it or fuck it. But if you want to get some friends around, you definitely need to stream this shit. Get a Canadian friend, because that way it's free.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So okay, the way we were watching this is it's on the CW network, but for some fucking reason on my Canadian Netflix, I get it weekly. Like it shows up all the time, so we usually use my Netflix, and I don't know why that Canada gets the exclusive like Netflix right to this.
Yeah, no, it's weird as shit, man, and that's the thing too. Like, I was actually thinking of watching this like on my own too, just kind of catch up to you guys at some point. And I was really fucking bored one day, and I actually went back and looked for it. I couldn't find it. And granted, I will say I only tried for like a second, so I was like, maybe I just couldn't find it or spelled it wrong or something. But yeah, I guess it wasn't available here in America. It's fucking strange. I don't get that.
I have no idea either.
Yeah, man. But no, I mean, Ganja's Rain. Yeah, I will say like I'm actually really surprised that you gave it that, dude. Like, I really am.
Hey, I really enjoyed the series. I thought I was going to be some more bullshit. Who is Archie hooking up with this week? Is it going to be one of these old characters? Is it going to be the new characters? Is he fucking Betty again? We don't know. Find out in the next season. One thing I do need is for them to bring Jabba. I know they can bring Sabrina Teenage Witch. I need my fucking talking shark. And if it's that bullshit that Alec keeps pushing, where it's some dude with his t-shirt named Jabba, or it is the mascot of the other football team, I am going to riot. I'm going to throw shit at him.
That's what's going to be to such a degree. I can see it in my head right now of just the next season, a bunch of football players just running through the school, and then the Jabba man.
God, that would really fucking suck. But Justin Zarian's in the house. Justin, how you doing, sir?
Hey, sorry, I was just waiting for you guys to finish, so
yeah,
I didn't want to interrupt.
She said.
Yeah, okay.
No, but I mean, what?
Okay.
I agree with Alan. I'm totally I'm convinced that's gonna happen for Riverdale. That's why I'm on your side.
And really quick too, like, what would you give it, man? Like, are you even into this?
No, I don't watch it. I'm just listening to you guys' conversation. I'm like, that sounds about right. I think that's more likely than anything. So.
But you, man, anything? I know we haven't done this in a long time where we actually ask people around like what they've been watching. But like you, man, like watching anything lately?
Well, I mean, I mentioned during my rant of the Last Jedi, I did catch some movies this last week, 3 Billboards and Lady Bird, and both of them were great. You know, I totally see like why people are pushing them for Oscar candidates. They're really charming, fun. Yeah, in the case of 3 Billboards, very darkly funny, kind of, comic satire pieces. For anyone who hasn't seen this movie, by the way, basic premise that it's Frances McDormand is the lead woman whose daughter is raped and murdered. But the problem is that the police have not investigated it because there's no DNA evidence and no leads. So she, in her rage, decides to rent out some billboards that accuses the policeman of not doing any work, specifically Woody Harrelson's character, Chief Willoughby. And that just causes this whole unraveling the community as people start to get angry, people start to send threats, people start to, everyone's behaving differently towards it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
I love this so much. By the way, her character. I mean, I know you're doing your thing and everything, but like I will say, I've seen some stuff, especially Double Toad's talking about it, and she is so fucking hilarious. Like I love her character so much.
The funny thing is that she, as much as she's justified in her anger because of what happened to her family, she's kind of an a-hole throughout the entire movie. Like she is not a nice person to anybody except. Well, no, not even her kid, because she has another son who is that kid from Manchester by the Sea, and she treats him like crap too a lot of times. It's like I really want to be on this woman's side because she's right, but then she's also doing it all the wrong way. And I think that's the best accomplishment of this movie is that it really goes into the nature of how people process hate and anger, in many, many different ways, either self-loathing or hatred of other people, hatred of other groups. It's a very complicated subject that they handle with a very intelligent process for the most part. It still goes into some absurd places at certain points, especially I gotta say Sam Rockwell is hilarious in this movie. Like every scene he is what you picture as like the racist jerk off police officer, but they pull out so much from his character that you wouldn't expect. You're just like, I almost feel sorry for this guy, even though he's clearly, obviously, kind of a horrible person inside, and I'm
looking at him right now. I do not remember seeing this guy in a lot of things. What's some other stuff that he's in?
Oh, he's been in so much.
He was in Quest 2.
Iron Man 2. He was.
I'm sorry, not
2.
Thor 2. Iron Man. I don't know why I said Thor.
He does look kind of like Zachary Levi, but no, but he's great. Like he pops up in so much stuff, and this is one of his best performances. Like I totally believe he should get an Oscar nomination for this role. He's really that good, that compelling throughout the entire thing, and it's just a solid movie. It's not for everybody though, because this movie is a very, like I said, it's very darkly comedic, and you'll laugh if you find the subject matter interesting and funny, but it goes to some uncomfortable places. Like,
okay, on a scale, is this like Broadchurch? Because I remember this concept reminds me a lot of Broadchurch.
Yeah, no, it's not as dreary as Broadchurch is, but it does tackle that kind of level of subject matter. Like, it has enough satire and dark comedy to balance out those really grim moments. Although, there's one particularly really tragic moment that's played with a touch of comedy, but it's super, super tragic in the middle of this movie. So, I'm not going to say what is a huge spoiler, but dude, go watch it. It is really, like, if you like really smartly written movies, because the guy who writes this movie, his name's Martin McDonagh. He did In Bruges. He did Seven Psychopaths. This is some of his best work, because he's also a very famous playwright. He does a lot of stage shows. And this, it feels like a great mixture of someone with stage mentality doing cinematic films. So, I say buy it. Maybe I'm biased on that, but I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, and then you said another movie too that you watched as well. What was that?
Lady Bird. The one from Greta Gerwig, Lady Bird. It's a really, and Lady Bird is very good, but for different reasons. In the sense that where Three Billboards feels kind of like a stage play in some ways, Lady Bird is one giant montage. Like, it has a central drive and a plot, but it's very character based of watching people living in the moment. Because it's basically Saoirse Ronan, Grand Budapest Hotel, Brooklyn, Atonement, growing up. Yeah, Brooklyn! Brooklyn Rage! But, it's her growing up in, I want to say it's either Sacramento or, I think Sacramento, in the 2000s, right after 9/11's happening. And just her going through last year of high school, her kind of emo gothy, not even fully gothy, just very, rebellious phase. And it's one of those things where Greta Gerwig says it's not autobiographical. There's no way this is not autobiographical on some level. But, there's really not a plot to it other than just, she's dealing with drama with her mom. She's kind of a selfish person, but she really wants to get to a good school, but her grades are not good, so she has to find ways to boost those up. It's very engaging. People may have a problem because Saoirse Ronan's a very unlikable character throughout a lot of it, but you understand her the more that you watch it, kind of thing.
That was my thing, like, cause I saw trailers with this movie, and my problem was like, oh great, another feel bad for a millennial who's trying to get his way because she wants to live her dream, man. She doesn't want to go to the regular college. She wants to go be that one person that drives the world, and you can tell she's like she's like the main character from Girls. The one that what's her name plays.
Nearly as obnoxious as that. No, thankfully not. I mean, she feels like. I mean, again, autobiographical. If you know anything about Greta Gerwig as a person, or Noah Baumbach, who I believe she's dating or married to, it feels like that. That kind of like hipstery, but with enough self-recognition and self-sense to say, oh, maybe I could do better, kind of thing like that.
I will say Laurie Metcalf too. Man, and I feel like, and tell me if this is true.
So good. She's so good in this movie.
I love her in everything she's fucking in, dude. This girl is fucking. I don't know why people don't talk about her more often. Like, I always think of her as just the sister from Roseanne. Single shitty bitch.
Oh, that's right. She is in Roseanne. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
And man, like, dude, I seen her in small ass roles, like even on Monk. Remember that movie or that show with the fucking?
Oh yeah, I remember that show. Yeah.
Yeah, she was on there, and it was she was like one episode or something like that, and she was fucking great. And
she's done great character work throughout TV, all throughout the decades. From what I remember.
Here, I mean, she's going off on her kid, and the kid just jumps out of the fucking car.
And the thing that makes it tolerable is that you can see the strengths and flaws in their relationship. Like, the movie actually doesn't start with that argument; it starts with them bonding over listening to Grapes of Wrath on audiobook, and then unfortunately.
No, I thought you were kidding I thought you were kidding about the whole jumping out of the car. She just says, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
No, it's that natural, like, contentious relationship where they have this really emotional moment, they're bonding together, and then the mom says one thing that gets her set off, and then they have an argument, and then literally she flings herself out of the car because she just cannot stand arguing with her again.
Yeah, I've been in moments where I've wanted to do this. I think everybody has.
Here's my stop!
Yeah.
And literally, it's one of those things where the whole story, like, the anchor of the story is them reconciling with each other. Because it's one of those things where it's like, look, your mom and you are very different yet very similar people. So yeah, I would be just as terrified, to be honest. But
man. I love how she keeps driving. Why isn't your first thought to slam the fucking brakes?
Like, don't do that.
No, when you have a traumatic situation like that, I don't think your brain processes it immediately. Sometimes
I don't know. No, I think like anybody behind the wheel of the car, the first instinct would be like, "What the fuck?" And the entire car would flip because of how fast they're going.
Yeah.
Like,
so this movie, it's not as arty as Three Billboards, but it's also a little bit more human. It's not trying to be as satirical in nature as that story is, but it's very relatable. Saoirse Ronan's great. Laurie Metcalf's great. Freaking what's his name from Call Me by Your Name? Timothy Chalamet is in this also, and the kid from Manchester by the Sea. He's getting a lot of work this year. But yeah, no, good for him. He's great and everything. So yeah, I'd also give this. It's a slightly lower buy it, but I also say buy it. I think both those movies were stellar, and they very definitely influenced my opinion on Last Jedi, but when you set the bar high. But also,
wait, two random movies influences your movie on another movie that has no connection.
I watched them all three in a row, and I saw those two first before I saw Last Jedi.
So that's like saying you had burgers, fries, and a salad, and the salad sucks because you ate a third.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying I was on a high from those two movies. So
that's a bullshit.
I agree. I'm just saying. I'm trying to clear that the air. So if anyone keeps their bias, yes, I saw those two movies first before I saw Last Jedi.
I can't believe I missed the fucking spoiler talk and you said that shit.
No, but the last thing, I'm finally watching Stranger Things 2. So.
Hey.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Allie, I've been always having you, like, that's the thing, I'm always, like, telling people, like, hey, like, if you watch movies, make sure to put them down. I feel sorry for Allie. She's put down, like, fucking 6 goddamn movies.
I know. Y'all just, leave me out. I don't even remember.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can try my best if you give me.
I will say, one thing that I've been wanting to watch, because now it's on Netflix, and I was so close to watching it the other day, but then I ended up watching, I actually rewatched Bad Moms so I can watch Bad Moms Christmas.
Ew.
Sorry, slow the fuck down. You watched Bad Moms, then felt the need to rewatch it to watch a sequel?
Yeah, well, I watched the first Bad Moms with my mom, but I was
this
so
busy.
This is
the man that says that Game of Thrones is trash because it has incest.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, listen, for one, Bad Moms is not that bad. Chill the fuck. All right, it ain't that bad.
It's in the title.
No, for one, those moms are really fucking good. So they do the job, and no, man, they go through some shit. Those little kids can't make themselves fucking cereal in the goddamn morning, and
They're
fucking husband just left me. Her husband catches her fucking, or her, goddamn, the mom catches her husband jacking off on Skype. Like,
the best way to get back at your terrible family is to cause wanton destruction in other people's stores, right?
Exactly. But here's the thing. But Allie, the thing is, when I was looking through that though, I found Leon, or Leon. Am I saying it right?
Leon the Professional, yes.
No. Like it's actually a show. I know you. Fuck you. But I think cause Double Toes talked about this recently too. But basically, like Lion or Leon, whatever the fuck.
Oh, Lion.
Lion.
No, like the movie's actually called Lion.
Okay, no, okay. Be specific. Is it Leon or Lion? Those are two different movies.
Yeah, Lion.
It's Lion.
Okay.
It's literally spelled Lion. How did you think it was Leon?
It's Nick. We just got to make sure he's okay.
No,
are you
right
okay,
now,
Nick?
no, basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get out of the bad moms talk because you motherfuckers are judging the shit out of me for enjoying
Yeah.
it.
And now we're judging you for not knowing how to read.
Oh, fuck you. We'll get to that later, bitch.
But Nick, Lion's awesome. So go ahead. Yeah.
No, yeah, but no, well, that's the thing. Like, Allie, I want to know, like, why it's awesome, too, because looking at this and speaking to the trailer and everything like that, too, like, that music being played, the pacing, it's almost like it can be good or it can be really fucking awful. So, like, I mean, what's your recollection of it?
Man, this movie moved me so much. Like, it really is such an incredible story. And it really, I feel like the pacing, I wouldn't say it's slow, but it really gives you time to feel for the main character. And it shows you how he first, like, so basically, if you don't know what it's about this young man who he was adopted by a very lovely Australian couple. And when he grew up, he was wondering, because what happened was, when he actually is from India, he was born in India. He had, his mother, he had his siblings, and he got lost and was never able to find his way back home. And so that's why he was adopted in Australia. And as he grew up, he really wondered, like, where's my family? I want them to know I'm okay because they never found me. So he really spends a lot of time trying to pinpoint exactly where he might have been, because it's like a very small village. It's not like it's in a major city. And he tried telling people when he was younger where he's from, and no one knew what city he was from. So he was basically trying to, like, really doing some really investigative searching to try to find where he's from. And it's really amazing. Like, it first starts out as him as a little boy, and it shows you, his family, his mom, the father's not in the picture, but he has, an older brother, which he looks up to, and he has a younger sister, I think 2 younger sisters, I'm not sure. But either way, he's out with his brother, and, that's when he gets lost, because he ends up falling asleep on this train, and that takes him way far from where he is, and he doesn't know how to get back. And so it just shows him going from place to place, trying to find where he is, and people are just passing him, not like, pushing him away. He's trying to find his way back home, and no one's helping him for a long time until, people start, until this, like, lady, oh, where are you from? Where's your family? Where's your parents? But then it's just like, this boy, first of all, he's so cute. I just say that. He's so adorable. He's the most adorable kid, I think, ever in a movie. But, like, it just shows, like, maybe not everyone has good intentions, and he has to kind of escape them. And anyway, it's just, like, you feel for him. I've never been in that situation where I've been, thousands of miles away from home and haven't been able to get back home, but you really want him to try to find his family again, and he never does for a long time. And even when he grows up, and you really feel for the adoptive parents that adopted him, because they love him so much and they want to see him happy, and you could just see this just tearing him apart. And man, this movie again, like, I cried at the end. My mom, like, she wasn't supposed to watch this movie with me. She came in and she, like, started watching, and she started getting into it right away. And we just ended up sitting there the whole entire time. She was supposed to be working, and she just sat the whole entire movie, 2 hours and some minutes, watching the whole movie, because she just got right into it. And this movie, first of all, is, like, beautifully shot. The music's great. And, like, it's beautiful. Like, cinematography, I know that y'all, like, cinematography are pretentious. But no, this movie, when you notice the first, like, scene you see, you're like, wow, this movie is just so beautiful.
It's actually the same guy who shot Rogue One who shot this movie. So.
Oh, really? Oh, I love the.
Oh, so did they edit it 100 million times, or at least 2 different versions of it?
No,
no, man. But seriously, I can't. Sorry, I'm moving my camera. But I can't. I think everyone should watch this movie, because it's just like, you really start appreciating, I guess, what you have. And even though, like, he grew to be, in a very fortunate situation, it's just like watching how it was in India, and just how some of these people can be, and and what they have to go through. This mother is literally like, she's working her butt off to try to take care of her 3 children, doing the work that a man would do. And then also, it's not really smiled upon to be a woman without a man in the household. So it's just like, really had a hard time. But either way, it's such a beautiful story, and it's a real life story, which is even more incredible. And they even show the real people at the end. And when they're finally reunited, it's just, like I said, man, tears flowing. Like, I don't cry much in movies, but this just like broke me. It broke me and my mom, and we just had to hug each other. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy for him, found each other. Oh my god. No, but like Dev Patel, he's the main, the older character, the grown-up character. He was really amazing in this. I think he definitely needs to. I know he's been in a lot of stuff, but like, I really want to see him more in like big, huge stuff, or maybe just dramatic stuff like this, because he's just, I don't think he's all the way like utilized a lot in different movies. So either way, it's 100% a high buy it. If there's like a higher rating than that, I would do it, because this movie, like, it just captures your attention all the way through. You're really concerned for this character. It doesn't feel slow. I found it kind of fast in a way. Like, I think it's still a 2-hour movie, but I was just so on board the whole way through, and there was not a part where I was bored. Everyone's great in it.
One thing I'm really surprised that you're saying that too, because in the background, that girl, I have a fucking vendetta with that woman.
You don't like Rooney Mara?
Rooney
Wait,
Mara.
Rooney Mara. Oh yeah, no, yeah, she's nah.
Okay.
She's kinda,
I'll say she has a personality in this movie.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, because usually she's dead as fuck. When they did Nightmare on Elm Street, I thought my nightmare was watching her fucking be Nancy.
That's not the right movie to judge her acting ability.
No,
if you watch
Suicide Squad.
Wait,
watch Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. She's great in that movie.
No, she's not. I've seen that too. I was about to get to that.
No.
She's fucking
wait, Rooney Mara. I'm confusing Rooney Mara and someone else. Then never mind.
She has
this
blank face on. She's more blank than fucking Kristen Stewart, man. Like, I'm sorry. But...
Okay, no, they're right though. Girl Dragon Tattoo. She's great in that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I saw her in Carol, and she was really good. Although she's definitely that reserved character that you've kind of seen her in before, but I feel like she's good in that too. That's the one with Cate Blanchett, and it's about gay women during the 50s and 60s. But yeah, she's really good now. But this one, like, she's just much more like extroverted, and everything. So I think she's not annoying. I guess what you would consider annoying, Nick. So don't worry. And she's not in it a ton. I mean, she's a girlfriend of him and everything like that. But she really is, for the most part, supportive of him, and she's not really complaining that much. And she's not really like a main central focus. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I forgot she was in it at one point. Oh, just like she goes away for so long in the movie.
Yeah.
And just like, oh yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And Justin, what would you rate this, man? Like, because we already went through the whole movie. So like,
Allie has covered most of it. I think I echo just about every single one of her points. It's well shot. You know what the thing is, like she's saying, you don't get bored because they establish such a connection with the character from the get-go. You feel like you understand this kid, especially what a poor city he comes from. Like, it's a place that is not very literate. They have to steal just to make a profit. I mean, that's really what separates in the first place, because they're just trying to make a business deal on a train station, and he falls asleep on a train, and before he knows it, he's halfway across the country by himself. So, but yeah, I mean, I think Dev Patel, I've always said, I agree. I think he's a great actor, and no one knows what to do with him because people don't know how to use ethnic actors very well. It's like, look, yes, he's Indian, he's British raised, So
are you saying we can't make them all shopkeepers?
Yeah, believe it or not, you can actually put them in other roles. But that's the thing too. Is that actually a fun note I looked up after the fact is that this movie took like a decade to make, because they wanted, or maybe not a decade, a long time to make, because they were shopping it around because it's based on a real life story, but people refused to make it unless they changed it to being about American. And it's like, but wait, he's Australian. Like, he's Indian, raised in Australia. The story is about Australians. Yeah, but it would be more palatable if he's an American.
But, well, it would be, they can sell it, which
no, exactly.
It took them 10 years because it's like, shit. I mean, if this was released in 2007, no one would have known about it. It would have been overshadowed by whatever the fuck was coming out that year. Like,
but and I agree with Ali. I think it's a very high buy it. I mean, it is sentimental, but it's that right sentimental that I've heard people say like this, just like, I wish we never get tired of this kind of sentimental, like genuine, heartfelt, relatable stories. And it never feels forced, never feels, treacle. It's just a good natured story. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
It comes from the heart. Like, it's one of those movies that you could tell how much just
passion,
sincerity, and passion went into it. And this is actually produced by the Weinstein Company, funny enough.
A lot of movies.
This never happened. Let's redub it.
I'm so grateful. No, I'm sorry, but I'm just so grateful that like the Weinstein Company does make or put out some really great films. As much as like Harvey Weinstein, his whole situation is terrible. Like, you gotta, at least this movie probably wouldn't have gotten made if it wasn't for them. So it's like you kind of got to be grateful in that respect that this movie was brought to light, because I think a lot of other studios would have been like, nah, I don't think this is worth the time or the money.
Yeah. We forget that Harvey Weinstein wasn't the only person working in that company. There was actually genuine good filmmakers and studio heads who, like you said, they put some thought into this.
Yeah, but they don't have the last name Weinstein, so fuck them.
Yeah, no, but we'll move on to that.
I'm grateful for Lion. I'm grateful that Lion came out of this. That's
Lion, Shakespeare in Love, a bunch of Tarantino's movies. We got a lot of stuff.
Isn't that how we got Hero in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Ruthless.
Wait, Hero? Hero or Heroes? Because those are two.
No, Hero. The Jelly movie.
The one with oh god, I'm forgetting his name.
Okay, it's all good. I mean, yeah, it's all good. But like, Ruthless. I know you've been waiting for a long ass time, brother.
Oh man, I've been dealing with so many like issues. Like, you guys happen to catch me with the PC finally back up and running again.
Nice.
So
okay, nice. Yeah, and I was gonna ask you, since we're nearing the end of everything. Like anything you've been watching that you can talk about, Flex and Chill, sir.
Just real quick, Brett Ernst is a really good comedian. He just released a free special on his website. It's a full comedy special link, so I watched that. Really fun.
Oh, well, he gone.
I think we lost him.
This is who you're talking about, by the way, and I've actually seen this guy before. And this is at the Toronto Just for Laughs thing. And he doesn't have a head. He's the first headless comedian of all time.
For a second there, I thought he was Chick Uger from Young Turks for a second.
Are you saying he's getting ahead of the comedy?
Ooh!
So anyways, why was this thing still working?
You would have got shot at the Comedy Cellar, bro.
The thing is, since this thing's actually working while Justin's performing for the comedy casket, Ruthless. No, but what about Brett Ernst? You said.
Yeah, I really liked it. I wanted to see it because he was at the Comedy Store that first week I got to Los Angeles, and so we got to see him live that night as part of the show with Nikki Glazer and Brian Holtzman. The special is really good. It's a really kind of like, anybody who's heard his stuff before, he's really kind of taking a different tactic with some of his jokes these days. Like, it's a lot more like marriage and being an adult and having to deal with maturity issues that he still has than some of his earlier stuff was.
Yeah, close his eyes.
Yeah,
he's got some great stories though. Like, seriously, check his old stuff as well. He's got a really great story about when he was working for Cheesecake Factory. And I watched that, and then I finished up She's Gotta Have It, the TV series on Netflix. That's like a redone version of Spike Lee's original movie, which was great.
Okay, yeah. I've heard some conflicting things on She's Gotta Have It. Like, I know TV dudes on their podcast, they were not huge fans of the show, even though they liked it at first. So what's your take on it? What do you think really worked for you?
I think the first half really works better than the back half.
Okay, that's what they said too. So.
And I think that's because all right, this is the Netflix problem. I feel like Netflix told them 10 episodes, and they probably would have been better off with 8, maybe even 6, to be honest with you. And it's not because the acting isn't good. The acting's actually really good. I think the music's really well done. For those who don't know, it's very neo soul, shea butter Twitter heavy with the music selections.
Shea butter Twitter heavy.
I don't know if you're describing music or
conversation. Let's say with Flex and Chill.
So, you know what? There's a good portion of our audience who got that. That's all that matters.
Or for them, they got it.
I am way too white for this discussion.
Yes, you are, sir.
Both are.
The show really it comes in giving you everything you know that from She's Gotta Have It, the movie, but it starts to give you more of a fleshing out of each of these characters. I I guess I can get why they didn't like it as much. I like it. Like I said, I liked it a lot. I especially like the bookends, episodes 1 and 2, and episodes 9 and 10. I would prefer to watch this in like a binge. I don't think this is really one of those ones that you would want to watch, 2 episodes at a time over a week. I think it's kind of a straight watch it all, really get the feel of it, and then set it to the side. I don't know if they're gonna do another season, but it has enough to it that you could get another really good season out of it. I think they made some good choices where they ended. Since it's released on Thanksgiving, and the last episode is Thanksgiving.
I will say, dude, I don't know if this is gonna spoil anything, but is this bitch a demon? Cause she's staring at my fucking eyes, like she's
no,
you know you want this.
You haven't seen them. You haven't seen the movie then. The original movie is very fourth wall breaking, where your protagonist is also serving as narrator, so you're getting each character kind of has those talk to camera moments as well.
Those are great.
But I don't think you need to see the film to get how this thing works. It just does. It's really good. It's not great. It's not Narcos, but it's pretty good.
What would you rate this, by the way?
I mean, if it wasn't on Netflix, I would say definitely rent it. I don't know if it's quite a buy it yet. I have to get a little more time away from watching it to decide on that. But for now, definitely rent it.
Now, I'm curious, anybody in the chat or here or whatever, anyone watch Bright yet?
I really want to, actually.
Okay,
I really don't want to, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Sean's is going to force me to watch it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are, baby.
Because I will say,
Okay,
dude, I remember when we talked about this a long time ago.
But I really want to see it because I've heard such intense reactions to it, and okay, maybe it's bad, but I can't imagine it being worst movie of the year. So, Nick, clarify if I'm wrong.
No, because the thing is, like, when you watch this thing, like, for one, like, I remember watching the trailer a long time ago about this, and I was like, oh, it's going to be some bad shit. It's Will Smith doing this typical fucking thing. But, man, it's so not that. Will Smith's character, I mean, if you like Hancock, and you like the shitty, drunken fucking asshole fool that he was then, like, he's back.
I don't.
Is this a sequel to Hancock, finally?
Yes, finally.
I'm sorry, man. I know nobody likes Hancock. I like that movie, man.
No, me too, man. I love this shit, because Will Smith is actually being able to do his own thing. Like, I much rather have fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, oh, fucking crazy, silly Will Smith, more so than fucking, oh, tell the truth. I don't want no Academy Award-winning failure fucking bullshit. I want some fun, like, this movie sucks and having a great time fucking Will Smith. And I think that's how we all think. Like, Independence Day, I mean, I think we still watch that every now and then, right, Gandra? No, maybe not.
Right. I love that shit.
movie
We would not go comedy tonight. We wouldn't be on Independence Day.
Only good part of that movie.
Yeah, Independence Day is high-class trash. That's what that means.
Hey, man, I'm back, and it's a great film. He sacrificed himself for the world.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like that's like a really emotionally stirring sequence in a film that has zero emotional value up to that point.
Actually, all right, hold on. I'm gonna defend fucking. Goddamn.
No.
I'm gonna defend Independence Day.
That was sad.
They literally actually build up the father-son relationship. That's one of the few characters they actually do get in depth with the two. Like, they show that he doesn't like his father, what he's become after the alien experiment stuff. And it's just a clash between the two. And after the alien stuff happens, it's just him coming to terms that his father was right. And that final sacrifice is him kind of accepting his dad was a hero to a certain degree.
Bro, you're looking into this shit way too fucking deep, man.
But if you really think about it, his father's also the reason why the Earth was attacked in the first place.
Yeah, but I mean, we won't get into that.
We can't
That's a
always
review of Independence Day.
We can't always get rid of all the other things, man. I'm just saying.
But the thing is, like, and you're talking about that shit being taken too seriously. This shit with this fucking guy is being taken too seriously. I really hate the fucking most generic fucking villains ever. Like, every cop, and they have to be white cops, and then there's like a lot of like they want black people to be the new whites that don't like fucking aliens or whatever, or orcs. And this dude takes so much shit, it's so unrealistic. Like, one thing I will say is, like, I really hate how they have dialogue of like, oh, you with that orc motherfucker? I hate that dude. Man, remember the war? Which, by the way, don't tell you anything about the fucking war. This war, I was like thinking, like, wait, is this like a war back in like real life, like in our actual reality? And like
Civil War, next the Civil War.
Or it could have just been like a World War type thing where they fought against they had an axis of power type thing.
Exactly, but then apparently this takes place 200 years later, like 200 years in our future. But yet the world is exactly the same. It's actually like
makes sense. Like it's one of those things of future where it's like it depends on which kind of future you're going with. Like Star Trek future is is 200, 250 years, but that's some crazy stuff. Like sometimes future doesn't mean you're gonna have flying cars and shit.
Yeah, but it's fucking crazy. And like the
No,
thing
it
is,
makes
like,
me think of what was that one video game series that does the fantasy and the steampunk style? Not steampunk, cyberpunk style. Shadowrun. It feels like that almost the way it's designed.
yeah, maybe. I mean that's the thing that's just so fucking weird to me. Is like, you know, this whole situation. You actually have a story here, especially with everything that's happening with police officers, like the last 2 years. Oh, actually, way more than that. But just, you know, nowadays is a bigger talk. But like, you know, you actually have something to base this off of in a real serious manner, and they do it in the most generic way where I just stopped giving a fuck. Like, all the political, like, agenda and talk and all that stuff, like, throughout this movie just goes in my ear and out the fucking other, because they will do a situation where Will Smith is trying to destroy a butterfly or a fairy outside his fucking door. And this is in a trailer, so I'm not, like, you know, spoilers. Yeah. And his neighbors, they all have to be gangster, like, yo people. And then there's aliens or orcs that act the same way, that wear jerseys and chains. Like, for one, no one dresses like that nowadays anyways. Like, what the fuck is this?
Man, I would love to see a bunch of orcs and elves with chains and 40 ounces.
They got the Fresh Prince baseball cap fucking backwards and sideways. Like,
that's great.
And they talk yo as well. I'm like, okay, dude, like, I know you're trying to create a dialogue for us to be like, hey, racism's not cool, but then the director does racist shit. Like, why did the orcs have to act like they're yo John Cena out and shit? Like, I fucking hate that crap.
Yo, I'm gonna show you that racism is bad by showing you a bunch of stereotypes.
Yeah, because stereotypes are real, y'all. They even got a Mexican dude. He's a cop, and he's like, hey, Vato, let me tell you. You know, I'm like, Vato,
wait, let
me tell you what the Chupacabra stole my land.
I mean, to be fair, I know people who do talk, maybe not to that extreme, but there are those people. But
me too.
It depends on the context of the character that makes a difference. Because, you know, saying that there's stereotypes, some people do exist who do talk like that. I've met them.
Yeah, but it depends on
the But
I'll be the first one to say there's some of these stereotypes exist within, you know, certain areas and certain neighborhoods. Like, hell, me and Nick joked about it recently because I ran into someone who was kind of a stereotypical Mexican, I hate to say. And I was like, for a while, I thought that was just people being racist. I was like, oh, damn. Sometimes they do that shit. Okay. Yeah. And no one's but the thing is, like, I get where Nick's coming from. It's like the whole neighborhood, though.
No, and the thing is, too, is like orcs, they should have their own version of ghetto yo shit. You know, they should have their own badass orc thing. When we watch this, they're like a step away from saying the N-word. Like, it's like, so, they even play stereotypical.
Like, I get what you mean, Nick, in that sense. But to me, it's like, again, this movie probably does it poorly. But if I was writing something like this, I wouldn't necessarily have them have their own version of it, because it depends. Like, clearly the humans won. Like, based on what we're seeing with the trailer and based on how you're describing it, clearly the humans won this orc war, and essentially the orcs are acting like refugees, and they're just essentially getting assimilated into the culture that already exists. So it makes sense that they're going to adopt the identical faction or the identical things to what they have around, because they're being shoved into the poorest areas.
True. Yeah. But then it gets to a point too where the orcs bring nothing to this world either. Like, for instance, you would think, because like there's even a part where like the main character, this guy who I haven't been stuck on this whole time, this dude can smell certain things because he's an orc. So it's like he has abilities that humans don't have. But then you get to a point where these orcs like lowriders. Like, there's like an orc with a Mexican accent, and he likes fucking the hydraulics and the fucking lowrider. Like, they got fucking the music. I mean, there's like the bass, like.
Wait, please tell me they play Tupac at some point during this. Damn it.
And that would be worse, honestly, because it's like whoever wrote this too, it's like they just typed in rap music 2017 and then just like used that for the movie. Like, it was like it was fucking ridiculous. And like I you know, aside from all that stuff, of all the racial stereotypical fucking shit they were doing in this movie, I will say, aside from that, the action was fucking awesome. Like, the action was great. Will Smith is great. Will Smith, his acting and just his character was so much better than anything he's done in fucking 10 years. Like, I love that character. But then you get to a point, too, where, like, I like certain things, like, because David Ayers is the one who's doing this, and you get to see a lot of, like, his, you know, movies that he's done, like Training Day, shit like that, kind of put into this.
This is Training Day set in the Warcraft universe.
Thank you so much. And the thing is...
Actually, what you're saying makes me think a lot about End of Watch, which he also directed, where it's like...
Wait,
there's
a
lot of
Watch? Damn.
Yeah, because he directed and wrote that one, where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of that high-quality action stuff, mixed with some of that overly racist depictions of Mexican gangsters. So I'm sure he has some common themes that he's kind of dealing with.
Well, and then the police car conversations. I mean, Antoine Fuqua did this too in Train Day, where they're in the car and they're just talking, and the same with End of Watch, where they have little conversations about like, hey man, I'm about to get married. I don't know how to tell her. I don't know how to ask her. Like, I think she's pregnant. Man, I love this girl. Man, I just want to be with her forever. But this doesn't have those deep conversations. This just says, hey, didn't End of Watch do that fucking talk in the cop car? Well, let's do that. Hey, man, why'd you eat that burrito? Well, I ate the burrito because I was hungry, motherfucker. Oh, yeah? Well, fucking shit. I'm like, what?
Well, that starts conversations of their philosophical distinctions between eating and not eating people.
Well, I mean, and most police officers don't have, like, meaningful conversations on their day-to-day routine drives,
They hire you to a cop. It's like, okay. I saw this one thing where it's like, how to be a cop. It's like, your partner has to have the complete opposite personality to you. You're not allowed to follow the rules at all. You can't actually know any laws. It's like you must have deep conversations at all times.
Yeah, and the biggest thing here too that I've just really bothered the shit out of me actually is you have those, and you guys probably thinking like, okay, a burrito talk. I understand people get in arguments in the cop car sometimes. It's just the way it is. But then they have to bring this fucking wand bullshit. There's literally the storyline, and I can't say too much about it, so it's like I know it's gonna sound like a bad review, but I really it's a big spoiler. But it's like this fucking wand. It's a magic wand that can do anything, and that is the basis for all these characters, whether they're not realistic or realistic. It's the zenith. It's the world. If this is WWE, it's the World Heavyweight Championship. If it was Ready Player One, it's the Easter egg. Like, this is the biggest fucking thing, and it's a magic wand, and they keep calling it that. I can understand if it was like, oh, it's a special word for magic wand. No, they literally say, even in the police radios, hey, gotta get the magic wand. Where's the magic wand? I'm like, dude, am I playing Secret of Mana? Like,
yes.
What the fuck is this? Like,
yeah, no, I think if I remember the trailer, it's there's that line that like it's like a nuclear bomb, but it grants wishes. You're just like, okay,
what?
Yeah,
no fucking sense. So
I take back what I said. This is basically future Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
like Elder Scrolls 10 Fallout. Like that's what I'm hearing.
Oh man, did they combine the Fallout? This is oh man.
Don't say that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
No, it's not. It's a horrible idea.
Fan fiction writers, get on it. Fan fiction writers.
I'm ruthless. It's called Shadowrun.
So is me talking about it.
It's called Shadowrun.
Aaron, I love you so much, man. Yeah. So here's the thing: the orcs, they will do that shit where it's like, oh, and the orcs' lives matter. They make a joke about that shit. They literally say fairies' lives matter, and I'm like,
yeah,
really?
That's in the trailer.
Yeah, I'm like, are you gonna make fun of Black Lives Matter right now? What the fuck?
Yeah, look, it's the idea about, racial relationships. I mean, again, I've not seen it. I get what their intention is. Whether it's executed well, that's a whole different question. But
I'm trying to make a joke, dude.
The question is this above or below Kendall Jenner's Pepsi commercial?
Okay, well, for me, I was just like,
I can't decide which one's more offensive to me.
Probably
more offensive, this one. Yeah, I mean, but I will say though, like he says, orcs are black. Like, that's what Aaron was asking, which I love that question as well, because in the beginning of the movie, when I was complaining earlier about the whole like, oh, orcs are like yo yo yo. At the end of the movie, they start talking like Irishmen, and it's like, oh, so because I was thinking like, okay, what if there's like black actors behind the makeup? I was like, okay, that would make sense because, I mean, as someone, I don't know, like it would bring everything together basically, and I can accept that. It won't be as racist. But then you find out like this is not even their culture because they're talking. I mean, there's even a part where like one of the orcs listen to heavy metal. So I'm like, what is happening? Like, you guys don't even know what fucking people you want to make fun of or stereotype or whatever. So, like I said, man, this movie, I give it a fucking, it's definitely a stream it, and I know it's like, oh, obviously Netflix, but it's like, yeah, it's really like right in the middle of good and bad. People are saying this is like the worst thing of the year. People just want to shit on things. People are like, oh, man.
Zone, I'm going to let you know right now, this is not a good idea. This is one of those things that sound like a great idea to people that want to be progressive or who think that it's a great agenda. Like, oh, let's show a show about how race is done through fairy tale, and we're gonna make it all orcs' lives, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna show how progressive our script is, because in the whole point we're against this. This is what the show's about. We're against this. And if you don't get that, you're not getting the whole picture.
Actually, Ganja, I gotta disagree with you. I actually think that, minus the magic wand thing, which I think is stupid, if you just got that out and made this more of a television show, which I always think is a much better medium for telling stories, if you had this, I would love to see this world where it's like,
I agree.
Yeah, there's an orc war. We don't have to talk. We don't have to like show it. We just kind of say, hey, there's an orc war. The orcs lost. So the idea that like the orcs themselves were their own culture, but like as a result of the war, they just were scattered all over the world. So yeah, some of them end up in Ireland, some end up in the Americas, some of them ended up in Europe, and all of these people kind of live together because it's actually this movie. The reason I want to watch it is because it's my exact niche of I like seeing supernatural fantasy like creatures in modern day settings.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I hate the idea. I just hate that when they turn minorities into supernatural or fairy tale creatures.
No, but that's why that's why they needed a black lead character, because having the white character, that message would have been all different. But having a black lead character to have juxtaposed the concept of minorities, whether they be racial or fantasy creatures, it makes a totally different argument. Because again, me as the white guy, what do I know, right? But
I think they should have had both of them as fantasy characters.
Yeah, I mean, well,
the thing is, a much better story
that's
like
crazy
that.
too, though, man, is like, and I don't want to. It's very scary stuff here, but there is a human character, and that's the name of the movie is Bright, and Brights basically are people. They're human characters that have aura powers because they want to do something that surprises you. Yeah.
Okay, I was curious why it was called that. That's good clarification.
It's actually a Light Bright movie, just no one talks about it.
But yeah, but
actually,
that's the thing, and that's what kind of fucks up a lot of this. I mean, especially this commentary and everything too. And one thing I will say too about this as well is it does suffer from Star Warsism. I really fucking hate the fact that because they're trying to do. I don't know if you guys read this like on Screen Rant or Cinema Blend and things like that, but basically, they're attempting to make an anthology series out of this. Like the next movie will not have Will Smith or this other guy, and they will make more movies.
I thought I heard that they already greenlit a sequel with Will Smith in it. Wasn't that the story?
Then shit. I mean, hey, there's so much news topics that contradict each other. I mean, I see 4 a day on comicbook.com. So, but the thing is, though,
isn't this the Max Landis movie that he got $25 million to write?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disappointing because Max Landis generally does good stuff. So I'm really disappointed that this trash. Hey, man, say what you guys want, but fucking the Holistic Detective Agency is a great fucking television show.
Sure. I mean, he also did American Ultra. So.
Yeah. But the thing is, too, is like, I was trying to get to a thing here really quick. Is like the one thing that frustrates me. The Star Wars isn't. That's what I was gonna say. Because they're building this anthology series, and basically they're saying like, oh, this universe is this big. There's people here, people there, different kind of fairy people and orc people and all this shit. And they have like so many characters that are introduced in this movie, but it all comes down to just 2 characters. Like,
sure.
I mean, they got like super villains on fairies and all these things, and literally it just takes place at the end of the movie. I mean, there's like fucking parts where people are like, "Hey, I'll see you right there. I'm on my way," and like they never show up. It's like, I mean, this is one of those movies where it's just like, I can't see them doing another anthology series because I don't know how anyone's story ended except for one person. So I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, but an anthology doesn't require that knowledge. If they do it as a true anthology, they can just say, okay, this happened in City 2, City 3, we're on, that's where the story
maybe they link up later on or something.
Sure.
I mean, who knows?
Now, I want to ask too, Nick, because, again, doing my Oscar podcast stuff, Bright is eligible for makeup this year because it's the same people who did the Oscar makeup for Suicide Squad. Yeah, no, but so is the technical work still good in this movie, like the makeup, the camera work and stuff? Like, what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely, and then especially just like the effects on when people are injured and shit like that too. Like, I love, like, I mean, it's actually, believe it or not, it's gory. Like, I wasn't really expecting it.
Okay.
No, and I don't know what rating it is, but I don't know how it's not R because they're like F-bombing like a motherfucker. It's like, yo, motherfucker.
It's probably R-rated, but it's on Netflix.
Okay, no, that sounds like David Ayers because the End of Watch was full of F-bombs, like wall to wall.
Yeah, and racist slurs and shit the whole fucking way through.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, goddamn, people, this has been a long-ass fucking show.
Yeah.
God, Lord. So we're going to end this shit, but Ganja Guru, there's a couple things I want you to do, man. Like, for instance, tell people about that beautiful, that glorious, that spectacular Facebook page.
Like you said, guys, make sure to check out our Facebook page, the Midnight Chat Tech Facebook page. Said it twice, a little redundant, but just leave the hell. Fuck it. Just try to make sure it leaves home. Guys, check out our Facebook page. We got a lot of things there. We got the Untitled Video Game Show, which we're going to be signing on the video we're going to play for next week. It'll probably be revealed around Wednesday or probably sometime posted on the actual page itself. But like usual, guys, go to the page, send us a DM box if you guys have any questions in the nights that you want to send us so we can review it, as well as your meme, gifts, and, fan art creations. We love that shit. It's appreciated, and we love it. And because you guys know we always like to give you extra content, I'll give them that description of the after hours we're going to do after the show.
Yes, what we're basically going to do is we're going to watch either some classical Christmas movies or movies set at Christmas for the crazies that think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. We're going to have Truffle in the Rabbit. It's not a Christmas movie.
How dare you deny that Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
If Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then so is Iron Man 3.
It
Okay.
is.
No.
I agree. I agree with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you.
Point being, in the rabbit, y'all will choose what we're gonna watch, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely, people. It's gonna be wonderful shit. Alan's always wrong. No, I'm just.
Alan, this one I will fight beside you on this one.
Man, we're watching Die Hard. Whoa, shit, damn. Sorry, I flushed John.
Die Hard. Fuck that. We'll watch right before
All right,
that.
as you guys lose your mind over what's a Christmas movie and not a Christmas movie, I'll give you guys quick rules for the after hours and how you guys can get inside of it. For the viewing party, you guys keep it to the topic about the movies and, something about Christmas or to the theme that we're watching. Don't start talking about stocks, facts, and bitcoins. We're not talking about that. We're not watching a movie about that. So unless you got a real interesting conversation that's going to make us all laugh and take us out the movie for 5 seconds, keep it to yourself. Also, for people that want to join us from either the YouTube or the Double Toasted page, we'll be posting a link inside of Double Toasted and on the YouTube page as soon as the video is done processing.
Oh, yes, and it usually takes about 20 minutes to finish processing, things like that. So if you guys don't see a difference in the meantime, just wait. Just patience is great. But Contra Guru, I've been fucking up. You've been fucking up. Some people fuck up more so. Let's just get the fuck out of here.
3, 2, 1,
attack! Watch break. Or watch it. I don't care.
Last Jedi was trash.